It's time for Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. And we welcome you to Stony Brook Field on a day that is looking much better than yesterday. We'll put it that way. Welcome inside our broadcast booth. Carter Rodil and Maura Sheridan here with you. We're getting you set for some Brewster Whitecaps baseball, where today the Whitecaps take on the defending champions of the Cape Cod League, the YD Red Sox, here from Stony Brook Field in Brewster, Massachusetts. Carter Rodil and Maura Sheridan here with you. The Whitecaps coming off a soggy victory against the Falmouth Commodores down at Gov Fuller Field last night. The conditions were pretty awful, and the game was also pretty awful, but the Whitecaps wound up coming away with a W, Maura.
Yeah, no matter how you put it, I know that the 7 runs that they scored in that 6th inning don't count, so it ended up being a 5-3 victory, which is just kind of a crazy way to end the game. They still got the win regardless, so it doesn't really matter that those are ghost runs, so to speak, but I think it just helped with the confidence. Everybody seemed to be getting on base. Everybody was getting hits, coming home. And so I think as we talked to Jamie Shevchik after the game, he's just really happy that his team was able to have a full team effort and this offense is really coming alive. They also scored 9 runs against Chatham.
I like the way you termed that more. Ghost runs. You heard of ghost runners on the playground. Ghost runs last night. Jeff Trundy, the Falmouth manager, waved the white flag midway through the 6th inning, and so the 7 runs Brewster had already played, it wound up not counting. Let's set you set on the lineups here for this ball game. We'll start you off real quick with YD Red Sox that will be batting first, the visiting team. Kyle Isbell leads off and plays center. Christian Koss is the shortstop, hitting second. Alex McKenna will play right field and bat in the 3 spot. Carlos Cortez will be the cleanup hitter, hitting fourth and playing left field. Jake Slaughter, the second baseman, bats 5th. Drew Mendoza, the first baseman, hits him a 6th hole. The 7th hitter is Nick Quintana. He's over at third base. Carter Ferris is the DH tonight for YD. He will be hitting in the 8th spot. And Darren Trainer rounds out the YD Red Sox order. He'll be behind the plate for YD, and they will be facing the Whitecap starter Paulie Milto. First start of the year for him, and Aiden Doyle has a little bit more about the man that Jamie Shevchik is sending to the mound. Aiden?
Thanks, Carter. Yeah, Coach Shevchik really looking for more length than anything else. He used his favorite term, giving the team a chance to win. That's really what he's looking for out of Milto. Ideally, he said he wants to go 5. William Tribuker out of Michigan is most likely going to be the first guy in relief, so he said, I'd rather see Tribuker in the 6th rather than the 5th. But again, it's basically the same story that he's given with every pitcher so far this year. Keep the ball down. This is a good YD Red Sox team that has given the Whitecaps a lot of trouble this year. So if he keeps the ball down, it'll be good things coming, forcing ground balls, trust the defense behind him, and hopefully he can give him at least 5 innings.
All right, it seems like Aiden was saying, something we've had for a long time so far this season. Well, the color guard is coming out. They're getting ready for the national anthem here. When we come back, we'll take a look at Brewster's lineup and dive into this pitching matchup a little bit more. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. Back at Stony Brook Field, we're getting you set for YD and Brewster here on this gorgeous Friday evening on the Cape. Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan here with you. Let's get you set with a lineup for the home team. The Brewster Whitecaps will be trotting out the following 9. Connor Smith is back in the leadoff spot for Brewster. He'll be slotted in at shortstop. Kyle Datris will be hitting second and playing third base. Mickey Gasper back behind the plate for the Whitecaps tonight. He will be batting third. The cleanup hitter will be Marty Costas, who is back in the lineup. He'll be in left field. Chandler Taylor is starting tonight, batting fifth and hitting and being out in right field. Nick Dunn, the second baseman, bats in the 6th hole. Julian Infante bats 7th and plays first base. Hunter Bishop is back out in center, batting 8th. And Christian Molfetta will be the Whitecaps' DH for this ball game, and he is batting 9th. And they'll be trotting out Paulie Milto. I want to correct myself earlier. Maura thankfully reminded me he does have one start to his name. It was in Chatham when Zach Lingenfelter went down with that oblique injury at the last minute while he was taking his pregame warm-ups, and Milto kind of slid in his place. So the first time he's entered the ballpark knowing he's going to start, but it will be his second start of the season. What do you think of this Brewster Whitecaps lineup, Maura? The big thing is they're going up against a lefty hurler in Spencer Van Scoy, and yet Chandler Taylor is in the lineup. A lot of times Shevchik has been sitting him against lefties. What do you think about that?
Well, Aiden Doyle informed us that Coach Shevchik just decided to put Chandler Taylor in there to get him some practice against some lefty pitchers, because usually he really hasn't been in the lineup against a lefty pitcher, so I guess this is just a practice thing for him. Just wants to get reps out there and get experience, because frankly that's not going to happen when you move up a level. You need to be able to hit against both kinds of pitchers. So, I mean, I think that's a smart move from Shevchik, but Paulie Milto, again, against Chatham, that was hands down his worst game, 5 runs allowed. And since then, I think June 28th was the last time he allowed a run. I know he is typically coming in relief, but really since that Chatham game, he's been really stellar for this Brewster team. So should be interesting to see what he can do in his second start today.
Yeah, it is going to be fun to watch as Paulie Milto starts taking his warm-up pitches, throwing into Mickey Gasper, who will be doing the catching tonight for the Brewster Whitecaps. You can't really blame Milto for not having his best stuff in that outing at Veterans Field in Chatham. Such a strange circumstance to be called in when your teammate goes down with an injury, and he wound up not really having his best stuff, giving up a few runs in those innings of work. The final the line on Milto was 2 2/3, 6 hits, 5 earned runs allowed, 3 walks, and 2 Ks in that last start against Chatham. But on the whole, the numbers are much more forgiving on the season. This will be appearance number 8 for him on the year, a 4.39 ERA and 14 1/3 innings pitched. He's given up 15 hits in those 14 1/3 innings, walked 7, and struck out 13 batters. We're just about ready to get started here. It's Red Shirt Friday here at Stony Brook Field. We had a wonderful ceremony at the beginning of the ball game to honor some local Coast Guard service members. And Brewster, accordingly, is wearing their red jerseys for this ball game with Cape Cod baseball written across the front in white script. YD is wearing their white uniforms with that YD Red Sox logo in the upper left and the blue trim heading down the sides underneath the arms. A lot going on with those unis, and we're ready to go with the leadoff hitter Kyle Isbell digging in from the left side against the right-hander Milto. And here comes the first pitch of the ball game, and it's in there for a strike on the inside corner. So says Dave Viveros behind the plate. He's joined by Mark Delaney at first base, and Jim Fonseca is over at third. That's our umpiring crew. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Foul away toward the left side. And Isbell is behind him. Count quickly here, 0-2. Isbell hitting .280 on the season, a .320 on base percentage, does have a pair of home runs and 16 runs batted in. Out in center today for YD. Here comes the 0-2. It misses up high. Almost like the fastball there. Milto is one of those pitchers that is known for working backward. Has some good swing and miss breaking stuff, but his fastball won't get above really 90. 1-2 pitch is lifted high in the air, a pop fly toward the right side of the infield. Coming in is the second baseman, Nick Dunn. He's called off by the first baseman, Infante, who makes the catch right in front of him over toward the right side of the infield grass. And that is out number 1. We'll get you set on Brewster's defense here. We saw Infante is over at first and Dunn is over at second. The left side of the infield is Kyle Datris at third and Connor Smith at short. And in the outfield, left to right, it's Costas, Bishop, and Taylor. Back in there with Taylor and Bishop in their natural positions. Mickey Gasper behind the plate doing the catching of Paulie Milto. Here comes the righty hitting Christian Koss. The pitch is fouled just a bit back toward the behind home plate. Just barely got a piece of that. Did the Whitey shortstop today. Koss had hitting .349 on the season, 1 home run, 16 runs driven in, getting on base about 42% of the time. 0-1 pitch, swing and a miss. Looked like he was a bit out in front of that one. The count is 0-2 on Koss. Brewster coming into this game at 14-12-1. Jamie Shevchik said last night he was happy to come in on the right side of 500. 0-2 pitch is fouled away, so the count holds 0-2. That, of course, was on the line last night when Brewster and Falmouth met in the wet weather and the muddy weather. The field was really getting torn up in that ball game. But the Whitecaps got the W. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's hit high in the air out to left center field. Moving back and to his right is Hunter Bishop. He's under it, he looks like, and he makes the catch on the run. Moving over toward left center. Wound up crossing paths with Marty Costas out there, but Bishop does pull it down. And so 2 up and 2 down for Paulie Milto in the top of the first. Now it's Alex McKenna's turn. McKenna, the 3-hitter in this lineup, but maybe doesn't have the 3-hitting persona or repertoire that maybe a Chandler Taylor does, where you know he's going to knock the cover off the ball. Alex McKenna's just playing good at getting on. .357 average for him this year, .404 on base percentage, and 11 runs driven in, but no homers for the 3-hitter for Whitey today. He takes the first pitch low for ball 1. McKenna out of Cal Poly, a California kid from Canyon Country, California, out of Bishop Academy. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Hit high in the air, foul ground right side. Infante is on the run over toward the dugout, but he's going to run out of space. And it lands beyond that YD dugout on the first base side. And the count is 1-1. Conditions today are pretty darn good for baseball. Partly cloudy skies. It is a bit cooler than it's been these past few days on McCabe. And as for the trademark wind at Stony Brook Field, it's pretty calm, though it is kind of drifting out toward left center. 1-1 pitch is grounded foul off of the leg of Alex McKenna. So we'll do it again with the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. YD right now at 14-11-1. They did not play last night. A bunch of games were rained out. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It's a slow ground ball right in front of Milto. He scoops up the baseball and flips it over to first base for out number 3. So Milto gets a pop fly, a fly ball, and a ground ball right back to him, and a 1-2-3 top of the first inning for the Whitecaps starter today. So at the end of a half, it's YD nothing, Brewster coming to bat. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Do you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists, who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you, or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to haibu.com. That's HIBU.com. Or call 855-464-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. Haibu, made for business.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. Back at Stony Brook Field, Spencer Van Scoy has finished up his warm-up pitches, and he will face the top of the Brewster Whitecaps order. We are scoreless heading into the bottom of the first inning. Van Scoy, a rising sophomore from Cedar Rapids, Iowa, a lefty up against Connor Smith, and the first pitch misses up and away. Makes the count 1-0. Vanscoy has just, I was talking to the YD broadcasters before this game. They kind of summed it up as he just hasn't given up runs. He hasn't allowed himself to get into jams. 0.90 is the ERA. This is his 4th appearance and 3rd start of the season. The pitch is in there for a strike to make the count 1-1 on Smith, who comes into this game hitting .279 with 4 runs driven in and still no extra base hits. Just found a way to get on base. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. It misses outside. Count is 2-1. Vanscoy is out of Arizona State. He's a Sun Devil. Here comes the 2-1 pitch to Connor Smith, and it's fouled away right side.
Yeah, Vanscoy and Hunter Bishop, teammates at Arizona State. Also teammates with Connor Higgins. I'm told Vanscoy and Higgins are good friends, although Higgins did leave this Brewster team.
We're waiting on a 2-2 pitch. Here it comes. It's at high in the air, foul ground, right side. On the run as the first baseman, and he will run out of room as it heads over the dugout. We apologize with the technical difficulties going on in my windpipe here, but we are in the bottom of the first inning. There's no score. Count is 2-2 on Connor Smith. Here comes the pitch to the right-hander. He checks his swing on a pitch that was low. They check over to first, and Mark Delaney says he didn't go. So that brings the count full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Smith is not a guy that's going to knock the cover off the ball, but he has done a terrific job of just finding a way on base this season. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's a slow ground ball to shortstop. Fielded over there by Koss. He throws across his body in time for the out. Nice job by Koss to scoop that one up and throw it quickly because Smith has some wheels to him. So Smith is retired 6-3, and that's out number 1 of the bottom of the first inning here. The YD defense, Koss, of course, the shortstop, as was mentioned. Quintana's over at third. Slaughter is at second. Mendoza at first. And the outfield left to right is Carlos Cortez, Isbell, and Alex McKenna, with Trainer behind the plate doing the catching for Vanscoy. Here's Kyle Datris. The righty takes a breaking ball in there for a strike. Now it just dropped right in there by Vanscoy. That breaking ball is probably his best pitch that he has. His fastball really kind of sits in the high 80s. Here comes the 0-1. Another breaking ball, another strike. That one a little bit lower down, right at the knees. Some late movement to that pitch, and behind the count early now is Kyle Datris. Datris on the season hitting .275. No homers, 5 runs driven in. Vanscoy gets the sign he likes and deals 0-2. It's a fastball, and it misses up and away to make the count 1-2. Datris takes a practice hack and will dig back in. We are scoreless here. Bottom of the first inning here at Stony Brook Field. Red Sox and Whitecaps. 1-2 pitch. Just misses. Coming off the plate. It looked like the catcher Trainer was looking for something away and had to move the target. It just missed the inside corner, but always tough when you have to reach across. Not going to get a ton of calls that way. Here comes the 2-2 offering. It's hit on the ground, foul, right side. Thatcher's just kind of a little inside-out push to send that one over toward the first base dugout where the YD Red Sox are hanging over the top step. And the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Vanscoy staring in, gets the signal from Dave Viveros to play ball. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's fouled right back toward us. The count will remain 2 balls and 2 strikes. More, I know you were talking to Jamie Shevchik, or Aiden was talking to Jamie Shevchik last night when we were up in the booth, and one of the things he mentioned about this ball game is, well, YD's trotting out a lefty tonight. We struggle against lefties, and it seems like they have that figured out. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him! Boy, that curveball has some excellent late movement to it, and it fooled Kyle Datris there. All 3 strikes in that at-bat coming via the curve. And so there are 2 gone here in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about them struggling against lefties. We saw it the other day against YD. Chris Bubich, a lefty pitcher for the Red Sox, was unhittable for this Brewster Whitecaps team. They didn't score in that game.
Here's Mickey Gasper. It's another first pitch breaking ball, and it misses low to the switch hitter batting from the right side. Gasper so far this year hitting .333. 4 home runs, second on the team to Taylor, and 22 runs driven in. That's second to nobody on this ball club. Another breaking ball misses up high to make the count 2-0 on Gasper. Gasper, like some of the other players, kind of sporting an odd uni combo. They're wearing the Cape Cod branded red shirts, but he's got the teal and blue and white high socks on. And teal batting gloves. 2-0 pitch is grounded to the shortstop. It's fielded over there by Koss, and he throws across in time for the out. So back-to-back 1-2-3 frames to begin things here in the first inning. Nothing across for Brewster in the bottom half of inning number 1. We're through 1 at Stony Brook Field. No score yet. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. We welcome you back to Stony Brook Field. 4, 5, and 6 due up for YD in the top of the second here between the Whitecaps and the Red Sox. We are scoreless, and Paulie Milto is ready to deal to Carlos Cortez. And the pitch is taken for a strike by the lefty out of South Carolina. Cortez so far this season on McCabe hitting .289 with .358 on base percentage, 1 home run and 8 RBI. 0-1 pitch is cut on and missed. Way out in front of that off-speed pitch was Cortez, just kind of took a half swing at it. And the count is 0-2. That home run for Cortez came against these Brewster Whitecaps. It was over the center field wall at Red Wilson Field. 0-2 pitch misses outside. And the count 1-2 on Carlos Cortez. Field dimension is probably more conventional here at Stony Brook than that shallow center field over in South Yarmouth where the Red Sox make their home. Milto shakes off a couple of signs and now kind of resets on the mound and will stare in once again. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It misses low for ball 2. Down and away. This is the thing for Paulie Milto. It's kind of similar to the way that Van Scoy is probably going to pitch in this game. As here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's hit high in the air, a high pop fly out to shallow right field. This one's actually not going to get out of the infield as Infante, the first baseman, is underneath it, and he makes the catch. That one was really skied by Carlos Cortez, and the second pop fly that Paulie Milto has induced in this ball game is out number 1 of the second.
And the second one, Julian Infante's had to make over there at first.
Yeah, Infante has been playing traffic cop over these past few games. We saw a traffic cop gone wrong in last night's game. Wound up charging in and letting a ball drop. Pitch to the Jake Slaughter is just a bit outside. The count is 0-1-0 on Slaughter, a right-handed hitter out of LSU. Righty to righty, the 1-0 pitch misses down and away. We're in the top of the second inning. No score here at Stony Brook Field. So far the game moving briskly. We have yet to see a base runner for either team. 2-0 is the count on Slaughter. Here comes the pitch to the righty. It's a broken back ground ball to second. Coming into field, it is done, and he bobbles it for a second and recovers, throws to first, and it is in time for the out. A bit of a delayed call by Mark Delaney over at first, but he gives the signal. It's an out at first base. As that one just kind of whacked off of Nick Dunn's body, but he was able to keep it in front of him and make the throw over. So Slaughter grounds out 4-3, and now it is Drew Mendoza's turn for YD. Mendoza, a Florida State Seminole, hitting from the left side. This is his 12th game of the season, hitting just 194 on the Cape. The pitch misses outside from Milto to make the count 1-0. That was a fastball. First pitch offering for Paulie, which is a little bit less of a given for him than a lot of other pitchers. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Another fastball fouled away left side to make the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Mendoza, I mentioned out of Florida State, he's a math major for the Seminoles. Something I'm sure the folks here in the booth who are gone into talking don't really understand. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. In there for a strike on the outer corner. So nowadays with baseball, having a degree in math probably doesn't hurt to understand all the new stats that are coming out. 1-2 delivery from Milto. Swing and a miss, he got him for strike 3. It does bounce in front of Gasper, so they're going to have to throw to first base, and they do to complete the strikeout. First strikeout for Paulie Milto, who so far is looking like he is in a groove on the mound. 6 up and 6 down to start the ball game. We're through an inning and a half, no score. Whitecaps and YD knotted at 0. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. We are scoreless, 0-0. Still looking for our first base runner here at Stony Brook Field tonight. Between YD and the Brewster Whitecaps, as Spencer Van Scoy's got one more warm-up pitch, and he will uncork it and get things ready to go here in the bottom of the second inning. For Brewster, it will be the 4, 5, and 6 hitters, as one would expect. Costas, Taylor, and Dunn due up for the Whitecaps against the lefty Spencer Van Scoy. We were talking a bit in that first inning about how Brewster has struggled against lefty pitching so far this season. They are 2-6-1 this year when a lefty starter has towed the rubber for the opposing team. And that includes 3 games against these YD Red Sox. All 4 games that they've played counting today is the pitch to Costas. Misses out, or is called a strike by David Viveros on a breaking ball to make the count 0-1 on Costas. All 4 times these teams have met, including today, YD has sent out a lefty to face the Brewster Whitecaps. Costas taking it in from the right side. And here comes the 0-1 from Van Scoy. Fastball in there at the knees. So the count 0-2 on Marty. Costas has one of the more deceptive batting averages that you're going to find on the Cape. He's hitting 188, but he's having a terrific year in pretty much every other stat you can find. 476 on base percentage. The pitch to the right, he misses outside on a fastball. Lost control of that a bit to Van Scoy. Sent the catcher trainer diving a bit, moving his left hand across his body to get the glove on it. 1-2 the count on Costas, who has 3 homers and 10 RBI this year. Here comes the pitch. It's a fastball hit hard and into right field for a base hit into right center. Marty Casas heads into first base and takes a wide turn, but he won't go any further as the right fielder McKenna was able to cut off the baseball. But a nice piece of hitting for Casas on a fastball that was left right there in the zone for him. The first hit of the ball game for either team. So Casas is aboard first base. He's 2 out of 2 stealing bags this season. And now here comes Chandler Taylor. He's out in his traditional position in right field. He's hitting 5th in the order. But he's starting against a lefty arm, something that we heard from Aiden at the start of this game is a tad unusual for him. Lefty batter. The pitch is a breaking ball that misses low. Makes the count 1-0. Looks like the pitcher Van Scoy kind of did a double take at Casas, who was bluffing over at first base as he delivered that pitch. He stares in with the count 1-0 on Taylor, and now comes set. And here comes the pitch. Nope, he's going to go over to first base. Nice little move from Van Scoy to check on Casas, who dives back in time. 1-0 the count. Taylor on the season, a .250 average, 400 on base percentage. He's got 5 homers, best on Miss Whitecaps team, and 13 runs driven in. He's reached base in 6 out of his last 9 plate appearances. And a big breaking ball is dropped in there for strike number 1 at the knees. There is really a lot of movement. A true 12-6 bender out of the hand of Van Scoy. He holds the set with the count 1-1, checks the runner at first base, and deals. Another breaking ball. This one misses low in the dirt to make the count 2 balls and 1 strike. That is the book on Van Scoy. He really does like to lean on that curveball. The fastball will sit in the high 80s. Pretty similar to Milto and how he'll approach hitters as they check on Casas at first base again. He dives back in time. The count remains 2-1 on Chandler Taylor. Van Scoy, originally the head coach over at Arizona State, caught his eye in high school just because of the smoothness of his delivery. That apparently was what caught the Arizona State coach's eye. Runner goes for second, the pitch is fouled away, and Casas will slide and head first to second, but he'll have to get right back up and head over to first, as Taylor just pushed that one foul. So the count is 2-2 now on the slugger out of Alabama. Taylor yesterday, in that soggy game in Falmouth, got his 13th RBI of the season on a bases-loaded walk. Pretty unusual play until you consider there were 3 of those from the Whitecaps last night. 2-2 pitch, a breaking ball that misses inside. Tell you what, Taylor kind of moved his head out of the way. Looked like for a second it was up at eye level. By the time that got into the glove of trainer behind the plate, it was down at his knees. But it was off the plate inside. 3-2 is the count, and they're going to check the runner at first. Casas, he dives back in time. So we'll do this again. Waiting on a payoff pitch. There is no score in the bottom of the second inning. Casas aboard first base with no one out here at Stony Brook Field. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Another breaking ball, and it misses inside once more, so Chandler Taylor works the walk. Good at bat for him to feel out that lefty. And the Brewster has it runners on first and second base with nobody out. And just the guy you want up, if you're Jamie Shevchik right now, is Nick Dunn. He is red hot at the plate. Had another pair of RBI in last night's game to get his total up to 13 on the season. Hitting .250 on the year, a 400 OBP. Or rather, Taylor is. 290-367 is the double slash line on Nick Dunn. Lefty to lefty. Here comes the pitch. It's hit high in the air left field. Moving over is Cortez. He's right where he needs to be. Takes a couple of steps back and makes the grab. Carlos Cortez looked like he might have had some trouble reading that baseball. It came off the bat quickly from Dunn. But in the end, it was just a liner out to straightaway left field. So Nick Dunn hits it right on the screws, but doesn't have anything to show for it. And that's out number 1 in the bottom of the second. Now it's Infante's turn. Trying to get the Whitecaps' first run. Trying to get the first run of this ball game. We're scoreless in the bottom of the second. Casas had a single to start things off and a walk from Taylor before Dunn lined out to left. Infante, a right-handed hitter, digging in. Here comes the pitch. Big curveball misses up and away to make the count 1 ball and no strike. Infante on the season is hitting .207, a .281 on base percentage, no home runs, and 6 runs driven in. This is his 9th game of the year for the Whitecaps. Of course, a returning player from last season. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball that misses low. Good eye on Julian Infante. That one looked like it had that movement to it. It was right over the plate, but dove below the knees at the last moment, and Infante laid off. So 2-0 the count on the Vanderbilt product. Vanskoy staring in. And the lefty out of Arizona State will hold the set with the count 2-0. 2 on and 1 out. And they're going to check the runner at first base, Chandler Taylor, who gets back in time without a slide. Well, 2 on, they're checking the runner at first, but we've seen that earlier this year. We've seen a Whitecap get picked off on a play like that. I believe it was Graffinino here at Stony Brook Field in a similar spot with 2 on. And he just wasn't paying attention, didn't think they were going to throw over, and he was picked off by a mile. 2-0 is the count. The pitch is grounded foul left side. And the count is 2-1. That one just squirted over behind the plate on the third base side. Infante just getting a piece. So 2-1 the count on Infante, whose fashion choice of those golden Vanderbilt cleats is not present today. A more subdued black pair of spikes for him. Usually really got those shiny golden cleats on. 2-1 is the count, and here comes the pitch. It misses down and in for ball 3. So ahead in the count, 3-1 is Infante. No score here, bottom of the second inning. Whitecaps and Red Sox. Just a half game in the apart in the standings. In the Eastern Division are these two teams. They're both looking up at Orleans, who are 16-10 right now. And we're waiting on a 3-1 offering. Here it comes. It's at high in the air right field. Moving to his right is McKenna heading toward the foul line, and that one is going to come down for a base hit in fair territory. Casas was tagging up at second. He'll hustle into third, but that's as far as he'll get. And Julian Infante loads the bases with a high-flying single to right field. Kind of a strange play. That one hung up there for a while, but the right fielder McKenna was playing really way out towards right center, kind of betting on Infante to pull. And so despite the fact that one was hit sky high, gave it enough chance to land maybe a couple of feet to the left of that right field foul line. As I mentioned, Casas couldn't move any farther than third, so the bases are full for Brewster, and Hunter Bishop will dig in. Another lefty coming up for the Whitecaps as the hurler Vanskoy getting some guidance on the mound here. Doesn't look like there's any action in the YD bullpen as of yet, though there is some stirring near the mound, but nobody's throwing or anything. Bases loaded here with 1 out. Saw numerous bases loaded scenarios for Brewster last night. And it seems like this is what Brewster's tendency to walk does. Brewster, of course, first in this league in walks by a country mile. It seems like that's what it does. It creates a lot of situations where the bases are loaded, where you've got runners on the corners, where you're forcing the opposing pitcher to work out of the stretch and work out of a jam. Here comes the pitch to the lefty Bishop, and he takes it down and away on another breaking pitch from Skip Vanskoy to make the count 1 ball and no strike. Sun Devil versus Sun Devil here. You have to imagine if Hunter Bishop might know a little bit about how Vanskoy works. As Mara was saying, they're good buddies on the team. Here comes the 1-0. It misses away. It gets past the catcher, and charging home from third base is Casas. They throw down to the pitcher, and it's not in time, and that throw gets away for a minute, but everybody will hold up. It's a wild pitch, and the Whitecaps have a 1-0 lead as Marty Casas bit as soon as he saw that one clank against the backstop. Brewster's first run comes in as Trainer couldn't field the wild pitch. It's 1-0 Whitecaps.
Well, Trainer did a good job of getting here in time. A nice slide and turnaround throw from him. It was just a little too high over the head of the pitcher, but a good job there by him. Just Marty Casas, again, he's a very fast guy, so that was going to be a tough play regardless.
The other runners move up as well. So Taylor's on third and Infante's on second. And now the corners are in for the YD Red Sox. Count 2 balls and no strikes on Hunter Bishop. Lefty to lefty. And here comes the pitch. He shows bunt and takes a pitch down and in. So ahead in the count 3-0 is Bishop with the 9-hitter Malfetta standing on deck. One of those spots where it might be at least coming into Scott Pickler's mind to think about what would happen if he gives up the walk. First base is open, the 9 hitters on deck. It would give you a chance at a double play. 3-0 is the count, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Hunter Bishop had the green light on 3-0 and took a rip at it, but wound up foul, tipping it into the glove of Trainer, and he's now facing a 3-1 count. Bishop sporting a pair of sunglasses in the batter's box here today. A few uniform changes along with the red shirts for the Whitecaps this evening. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. It's hit hard right to the first baseman, makes the play, does Mendoza. He throws over to second base, and they got him doubled off. They double off Infante at second. It's a double play to end the inning. Mendoza makes the grab on the hot shot off the bat of Bishop and then fires over to the shortstop, cause for out number 3. And for Hunter Bishop, there's not a lot more you can do. He put a charge into the baseball and winds up ending the inning with a 3-6 double play. A tough break for the Whitecaps, but they do get a run here in this bottom of the second inning. They get it on 2 hits, and thanks to the DP, they leave just 1 runner on. We're through 2 full innings of play now at Stony Brook Field. It's 1-0 Brewster. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Visit Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bar Zim Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience, a proud member of leading hotels of the world. We welcome you back. Carter Woodell and Morris Sheridan here with you. Whitecaps and Whitey Red Sox. The Whitecaps took the lead on a wayward pitch, a wild pitch that scored Marty Costa, because that was all they get in the bottom of the second inning. It's 1-0 Brewster. And the first pitch is fouled back by Nick Quintana, who digs in from the right side for Scott Pickler's club. So far on the year, he's hitting 161. 226 is the on-base percentage. Does have 4 home runs, which is tied for the most on this ball club. 9 runs driven in. 0-1 pitch misses outside. Gasper knocked off of his mitt and started trickling over toward the backstop. No matter, there's nobody on. 1-1 is the count. Quintana from Arizona. Originally from Las Vegas, a rising sophomore. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. And it misses inside, a fastball from Milto. 2-1 is the count. So far for Paulie Milto, 6 up and 6 down in this ball game. He's gotten 2 pop flies, 2 ground balls, a fly out, and a K. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Able to fool him there with that one that was up and away. And Quintana went and chased at it, and he's now facing a 2-2 count. Quintana used to having his name associated with the Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox drafted him in the 11th round out of high school. The pitch is hit high in the air, foul ground right side. It will go out of play. And the count 2-2 still on Nicholas Quintana. Not the only one in his family to get drafted. His brother is in the Atlanta Braves organization. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's hit on the ground to shortstop, moving over is Smith to his right. He scoops it up and throws across his body, and it is in time for the out. A nice play from Connor Smith showing off his arm strength there, and that's out number 1 of the top of the 3rd. And now it's time for the UAB Blazer Carter Ferris to take his hacks. Ferris, a right-handed hitter. So far for Ferris, he's hitting .282 on the year, .349 on base percentage, no home runs, and 3 RBI. The pitch to the righty, misses inside. Milto's having trouble throwing strike 1 so far of these past few hitters. Has been starting most of them off with his fastball. 1-0 pitch is coming along. And there's a breaking ball, and it's dropped in there for strike 1. You wonder how Milto might adjust given the situation. Obviously, this is longer than he's been asked to go this year, aside from that one interesting start in Chatham as the 1-1 pitch is grounded foul left side, course, that start when he didn't know he was starting when he got to the ballpark. There was a last-minute injury to Zach Lingenfelter. And you wonder if for a guy who has a reputation for pitching backwards, he might kind of adhere to what Jamie Shevchik and Austin Straub and the coaching staff for Brewster have been telling a lot of their starters, which is, hey, throw that fastball a little more. 1-2 pitch is a fastball, swing and a miss. No, it was a breaking ball, excuse me, and he gets him strike at 3 swinging. So the second strikeout of the ball game for Paulie Milto, and so far he's looking locked in. The 9-hitter Darren Trainer digging in now. Trainer is from Lewis Clark State College, not to be confused with Lewis and Clark College, which is an entirely different institution. Here comes the pitch to the righty. It's hit high in the air, foul ground right side. Infante is chasing after it, but he's going to run out of room. It lands over by the fans out there in between the YD dugout and the YD bullpen. So 0-1 is the count on Trainer. Trainer has not actually suited up for Lewis Clark State College just yet. He took a medical redshirt this past year. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. And it's a breaking ball in there for a strike at the knees. 0-2 is the count. When Paulie Milto has wanted to drop that breaking ball in, so far he's been able to do it. That's an important part of his arsenal. Catching folks off guard with that. 0-2 pitch. Fastball. Misses outside. Mickey Gasper wanted the call. He couldn't quite get it in his glove. It kind of popped out. It was just off the outside corner in the judgment of Dave Viveros. And here comes the 1-2 offering from Milto. Grounded softly foul. Just got a piece of that. Did Darren Trainer on another fastball. So he stays alive with the count 1-2. Trainer, no stranger to injury. I mentioned that the medical redshirt this year had Tommy John surgery in April of 2016. 1-2 pitches hit on the ground. Foul, left side. That one just did kick foul wide of third. Over where Datris is standing for Brewster. And we'll do it again with the count 1-2 on the kinesiology major. Brewster ahead 1-0. We're in the top of the third inning. Whitecaps got their run on a wild pitch that brought in Costas, and the pitch is hit high in the air out to right center field. Moving to his left is Hunter Bishop, and he will make the catch on the run for out number 3. Bishop kind of stopped and started on his route to the baseball, but wound up finding it out there in right center. And so it's 9 up and 9 down for Paulie Milto to begin this game. Don't think Jamie Shevchik could have asked for anything more than what he's getting right now out of the Indiana Hoosier at the end of 2.5 innings of play. It's 1-0 Whitecaps. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Waddell and Maura Sheridan. It's 9-1-2 for the Whitecaps as they lead 1-0 as we start the bottom of the third. Christian Malfetta digging in from the right side, and a first pitch breaking ball from Spencer Van Scoy is dropped in there for strike number 1. So Malfetta behind in the count 0-1. Brewster, as I mentioned, up 1-0. That run came in on a wild pitch. Marty Costas scampered home. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Another breaking ball, and that one just misses off the outside corner. Looked like Van Scoy liked that pitch, but Dave Averos not giving him the call. 1-1 is the count. On the righty out of Stanford. Malfetta hitting .250 on the season, no homers, 4 runs driven in. 1-1 pitch. Is a soft ground ball, foul, third base side. So we'll do it again, 1-2 the count on Christian Malfetta. That run could be important. Paulie Milto looking great on the mound. Will Tribuger, who we hear is probably going to be the guy that Jamie Shevchik calls upon afterward, had an excellent outing his last time out against this Whitey Red Sox club. 1-2 pitches a breaking ball in the dirt to make the count 2-2. So right now, and of course it's baseball, it could change on a dime. Things are looking pretty good for the pitching staff, and it's up to the offense to just try and scrape across a few runs against this lefty out of Arizona State. The pitch is fouled away right side. We'll do it again. 2-2 the count on Malfetta. Vanskoy among the drafted players here. The hurler for YD was picked by the Blue Jays last year in the 19th round. Here comes the 2-2 offering. Breaking ball misses low. So the count full, 3-2. We have seen a lot of curveballs from Spencer Vanskoy. He's using that like a lot of pitchers would use their fastball. It's his bread and butter pitch right now. The count is 3-2 on Christian Malfetta. Vanskoy shakes off a sign from trainer, now gets the one he likes and deals. It's a fastball and it misses down and in for ball 4. So Christian Malfetta works a walk, the second Whitecap walk of this game. It equals the amount of hits they've got. And Brewster has the leadoff runner on for the second straight inning here in the third.
And that's only the second walk for Christian Malfetta on the year. Tends to strike out a lot. He has 16 on the year, so nice to see some plate patience there from Malfetta.
So now it's Connor Smith's turn. Smith hitting from the right side as per usual. Runner on first base and nobody out. The pitch is a ground ball to second base. Slaughter will scoop it. He throws to short for 1. Over to first base. It's in time for the double play. A nicely turned 4-6-3 for YD to double off the speedy Connor Smith. The second time Smith has been sent hustling up the line, only to be in vain. So a walk is canceled out nice and quickly by the YD defense. And there are 2 gone here in the bottom of the third.
We've seen 2 double plays today, just kind of, as you said, cancel out some offensive production or just people getting on base for the Whitecaps. Hunter Bishop hit into one in the second inning that ended that inning. So Brewster just kind of canceling out what their teammates are doing by hitting into those double plays.
Now it's Kyle Datris' turn, the Whitecap third baseman. Here comes the pitch to the righty. It misses down and away. And the count 1-0 on Datris. Datris swung and missed at a curveball for strike 3 his first time up against Vanskoy. And you're right, these 2 double plays I think have both been in big spots for YD in this ball game. Here comes the 1-0. It's swing and a miss, and Datris loses his bat and throws it up against the netting. That's the second time we've seen that happen. It was Datris last night who lost his bat very early. In fact, it was the very first batter of the game in Falmouth last night. Of course, it was wet and slick out there, but not the case tonight. The weather is very good, but still losing the handle. He's a third baseman out of North Carolina, and rightly so. He gets some pine tar to rub the thing down with. So another big hack. 1-1 is the count on Kyle Datris, and those 2 double plays going back to them, and that first one coming when Hunter Bishop hit a line drive. That was with second and third and 1 man out. Wound up lining into a 6-3 DP, doubling off Infante at second. And then here, you get the 9-hitter on base with the walk. Now the top of the order's coming up. The leadoff man is on. And now instead, you just got to get the 2-hitter and you're out of the inning. 1-1 pitch to Datris is bunted foul. First base side. Bunch was perhaps trying to take advantage of that delay or something. He was trying a little drag bunt, and it didn't work. So he's behind in the count with the count 1-2 now on Datris. If Datris does elect to bunt, it should be known Vanskoy is very good at fielding his position. He's drawn praise for his defense on the mound. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It runs inside. A fastball there from Vanskoy, and the count is 2-2. And that fastball, from where we're at behind home plate, it does look like it has more life to it after you see the steady diet of breaking balls that Vanskoy will provide these hitters. Here comes the 2-2 offering. It's a breaking ball, check swing, and they're going to see if he went, and he did not go. So says the first base up, Mark Delaney. Slapping the tag on Datris just in case was the catcher trainer, but They really didn't go around, so it's a 3-2 count. With 2 men out here, bottom of the third, Whitecaps working on a 1-0 lead here for Brewster. Vanskoy gets the sign he likes and will deal 3-2. It's a ground ball foul, left side. Again, just a little nubber, just got a piece of it. Did Datris, and he's battling here in this at-bat. Datris will dig back in, 3-2 the count. And here comes the offering. That's a fastball grounded foul left side. Pretty good crowd on hand tonight here at Stony Brook Field. The bleachers looking full, plenty of lawn chairs out in the outfield. Why wouldn't you be here? It's a Friday night here on the Cape. The weather is nice after we've had some rough weather these past few days here in the Cape and really the entire state of Massachusetts. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It misses low for ball 4. So the Whitecaps have already drawn 3 walks against Vanskoy in this ball game. Datris reaches there, and there's a runner on first base with 2 out here at the bottom of the third.
Wearing number 9 from Bryant University. Here's the catcher, Mickey Gasper.
Now it's Mickey Gasper's turn. Gasper digging back into the right side, the switch hitter for Brewster, one of a couple on this team. Devin Foyle, who's not in the lineup today, will also bat from both sides. And it's a first pitch breaking ball. What else is new? It misses low. Makes the count 1-0. Gasper grounded out to shortstop his first time up. And that 1-2-3 bottom of the first inning for the Whitecaps. And they're going to check the runner over at first base in Datris, who is 3 out of 3 stealing bags so far this season. Done an excellent job of picking his spots. It's always something that I personally will admire in a player. It's kind of one of the things where you can separate being fast and being a good base runner, which are 2 different things. So they check him again at first base. The ability to kind of pick your spots, to know when to go, to know your own limitations as a runner, and then prevent making what really are very costly outs on the base paths. 1-0 is the count on Mickey Gasper. Coming set is Vanskoy. Here comes the pitch. A breaking ball that misses up high. Gasper laying that one off. It's 2-0 is the count. That one very close to being called for a strike. Couple letters there to Gasper. But he's ahead in the count here. Gasper knows the zone. Here comes a 2-0 pitch. Fastball hit high in the air left field. Moving back is Cortez. He's drifting back toward the track, and he makes the catch. Really put a drive into that one, did Gasper, but didn't quite have enough on it. And that's the final out of the third inning. So Brewster doesn't get a hit in this frame. They don't score either. They do leave 1 run off on base after drawing a couple of walks in this inning. And we're through 3 here at Stony Brook Field. The Whitecaps still hanging on to that 1-0 lead. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Urgent care is now available at 4 Cape Cod healthcare locations: Hyannis, Falmouth, Sandwich, and Harwich. Open after hours and weekends. Staffed by ER physicians. Expert care when you need it. Learn more at capecodhealth.org/urgent-care. Well, the top of the order due up for the YD Red Sox. We're in the top of the 4th inning. Kyle Isbell digging in for the Red Sox. He'll face Pauly Milto, who's still on the mound for Brewster. First pitch is in for a strike from Pauly Milto. Isbell had an infield pop-up to start off this game, right to Julian Infante at first. Next pitch from Pauly is in for a ball, so the count moves to 1-1. The 1-1. Swung on and hit to Julian Infante at first, who will backhand it. Pauly Milto covering first, races over and wins the foot race with Kyle Isbell for out number 1. So that's 10 up, 10 down for Pauly Milto in this game.
And he helped himself out there with that defensive play. A lot of times your pitchers can forget, to come in and race as fast as they can on that play because he needed every step of that. Infante made a nice grab to backhand. It was kind of left out in no man's land. A nice job by the Indiana Hoosier to get over and field his position.
So with 1 out, Christian Koss will come up to bat for the Red Sox, playing shortstop today for YD. First pitch from Milto, that one's low for ball 1. Koss, like all his other teammates, did not get a hit, had a pop fly to left field in his first at-bat in the first inning as he fouls the next pitch behind him, and a little dribbler that will just barely reach the backstop. Counts 1 ball, 1 strike on Koss. Taps his bat on the plate and waiting on the 1-1. Here it comes. This one fouled, this time high above the press box as the count moves to 1-2. Christian Koss is batting .349 for the YD Red Sox, has a .417 on-base percentage. In the 2 spot today for YD. The 1-2. This one misses below the knees to move the count to 2-2. Milto staring in. Here's the 2-2. That one swung on and hit right in between Daughtris and Smith for the first hit of this game. Christian Koss will round first and decide to just stay there. So with 1 out, Christian Koss gets on and finally gets a base runner for this YD squad.
Yeah, no more perfect game opportunity for Milto on the mound. He's still pitching very well, and that was well hit from Christian Koss, just laced that one left side.
So Alex McKenna will now come up to bat for the Red Sox, trying to string some hits together. As I mentioned, that was the first one of the day for the Red Sox. Neither team is hitting a lot, as the first pitch is hit foul right to Julian Infante. Just barely goes out. Therefore, McKenna looks like he's going to go get a new bat. Not sure if it broke. Just a little piece chipped off as Mickey Gasper is holding it in his hands, the little piece of wood that came off of the bat there. So McKenna will go get a new stick as, again, Christian Koss is at first. And as I was saying, the Whitecaps only have 2 hits themselves. So we haven't seen a lot of offensive production from either team, although Brewster has walked 3 times in this game. As McKenna strolls back with his new bat. No balls and 1 strike to the right fielder today for YD. He's batting .357 on the year, as I know you mentioned, Carter. That's the 3rd best in the CCBL. Waiting on the 0-1. As Milto will check up on Koss, who dives back head first and is safe.
Boy, he was very close. There was a voiceover from the Whitecaps dugout who thought that he was out when he was delivering the throw. Didn't think he had enough time to dive back. Just got his hand on the bag.
Milto will check up again. And once again, Koss just a fingertip away from missing that one. Diving back head first, but again, remains safe on the bag. Brewster up 1-0 on YD here in the top of the 4th inning. 1 out as Milto. The 0-1 is hit to shortstop. Smith throws it over to Nick Dunn and then to Julian Infante for the double play that ends this inning. So after YD gets a pair of double plays, Brewster responds with one of their own. Just one hit in this inning on Pauly Milto. No runs come through, and nobody left on for YD. We're through 3.5, and the score is still Brewster 1, YD nothing. Stick with us. You're listening to the Brewster Whitecaps on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Welcome back to Stony Brook Field. Costas, Taylor, Dunn all set to bat for Brewster, and they'll face a new pitcher. Carl Kaufman comes on for YD, replacing Van Scoy. First pitch from Kaufman is a breaking ball that misses below the knees to Marty Costas. So 1 ball and no strikes. Kaufman is a teammate of Will Tribuker's at Michigan. Tribuker, who, when Aiden Doyle, the third member of our team, talked to Jamie Shevchik, the 1-0, that one bounces into the backstop, hits off a trainer's knee for ball 2. Tribuker may, as you know, it's the Cape Cod League, things change, but is expected to come in relief for Pauly Milto whenever that may be, so we could see a Wolverine matchup on the mound today. The 2-0. That one in for a strike, this time just above the knees to Marty Costas, so the count moves to 2-1. The 2-1, this one again bounces out of the reach of Trainer into the backstop. This one he could not glove on his right side.
A little uncharacteristic for Kaufman. He's got a rep as a guy who likes to fill up the zone.
The 3-1, and this one misses, so Marty Costas will walk, and Brewster has a base runner to start out this bottom of the 4th inning.
That's walk number 5 for Kaufman on the Cape this year in 7 1/3 innings pitched. So maybe I'm eating my words a little bit. But in any case, it's another leadoff runner on for Brewster. They've done that 3 innings in a row now. I'm sure that the Red Sox would love to see another double play to nip that in the bud.
And now Chandler Taylor comes up to bat for Brewster. Before this game, the story was him going up against a lefty, as Chandler Taylor is a lefty himself. But now Kaufman's a righty pitcher, so I'm sure to the delight of Chandler Taylor, this is working out in his favor. Marty Costas at first again, no outs. First pitch to Chandler Taylor, in for a strike, breaking ball there from Kaufman.
Yeah, just the one at bat, and he got on. So The dice roll, if you want to call it that, from Shevchik works perfectly here in this game.
Staring in is Kaufman, waiting on the 0-1. Here it comes. This one hit high into left field. It's the shortstop Koss actually moving for it, and that one will drop just foul. So Chandler Taylor will make the walk back as he was already on first.
And it's interesting here, the third baseman Quintana is in-ish. He's just a couple of step or two behind that baseline at third, and that's out of respect for the 2 bunt singles that we've seen from Chandler Taylor so far this season. This guy has 5 homers, the most on the team, and the defense is guarding a bunt against him. That tells you kind of how complete Chandler Taylor is as a ball player.
Taylor trying to get on for the second time today as the 0-2 misses below the knees for the first ball to Chandler Taylor. As we mentioned, he did walk in his first at-bat. That was in the second inning. And he was left on in that one. A swing and a miss from Chandler Taylor, and so interesting turn of events. Chandler Taylor struck out by a righty here. So kind of not what we predicted, but there is 1 out. Marty Costa still at first, and here comes Nick Dunn for Brewster.
Wearing number 39 from the University of Maryland, one of the Terrapins, second baseman.
Nick Dunn, as always, or as per usual, I should say, is playing second for Brewster today. Dunn in his first at-bat hit a pop fly over to left field. As the first pitch is at the knees of Trainer, and Marty Costas will take second, running and diving in. Trainer wasn't even able to really locate that ball. It just went out of his vision, so Marty Costas able to reach second, and now runner in scoring position for the Brewster Whitecaps and Nick Dunn. 1 ball and no strikes to number 39 for the Whitecaps. The 1-0 is a breaking ball that just drops in for strike number 1.
That's the way that Kaufman wants to play when he's on. He's got 4 different pitches. He can throw all of them for strikes, including that curveball.
They'll check up on Costas over at second, who has to dive head first back in, but he's safe to the bag.
Well, scored a wild pitch that got him there. So twice he's advanced in a wild pitch this ball game, including to score a run.
The 1-1 is fouled softly on the first base line to move the count to 1-2. As you mentioned, Marty Costas came home in a wild pitch. That's the only run we've seen come home today from either team. The score is 1-0. Brewster on top of Whitey. It's the bottom of the 4th inning and just 1 out. Nodding at his signals from Trainer is Kaufman. The 1-2. This one swung on by Dunn. It will be hit softly to Slaughter at second, and he'll just drop it over to Mendoza for the out. So after allowing Marty Costas to get on to start this game in a walk, Kaufman struck out Chandler Taylor and just got Nick Dunn a ground out.
The final line on Van Scoy, who was replaced here by Kaufman in this ball game. 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 run allowed. It was earned. He walked 3, which is the real key number in that line, and 1 strikeout for him.
Going into this game, Van Scoy had 3 walks on the season, and he doubled that today with 3 walks in his appearance. Julian Fonte digs in for the Whitecaps. First pitch to him hits Trainer in the knees. Important to note that Marty Costas moved to third on that Nick Dunn ground out, so just 90 feet away from making this a 2-0 game. Next pitch again misses, this time way outside. So the count moves to 2-0. Julian Fonte going ahead in the count. He has one of Brewster's 2 hits in this game. He singled in the second inning, a hard hit ball to right field. The 2-0. Again, this one misses on the outside corner, so Julian Infante showing a lot of discipline. The count's 3-0. The pitch. This one misses, so Kaufman will walk his second batter in this inning. As Marty Costas and Julian Infante are at the corners, they both got on walks. And here comes Hunter Bishop for Brewster. Bishop trying to make up for how he ended the second inning. Had a double play in that one. A 3-6 double play. A really hard hit baseball, though. I have to say, just a good grab by Mendoza at first. And Mendoza turned that one into a double play to end that inning. First pitch hits Trainer in the knees, but bounces on the third base line, so Marty Costas will not move.
Yeah, Trainer a bit lucky that went on the third base line and not the opposite way. We've already seen Costas come in on one wild pitch.
And we've seen Costas move to second on a wild pitch, so 2 today for the YD Red Sox. Counts 1 ball, no strikes, and here's the pitch. That one, a breaking ball that just misses. 2 balls and no strikes to Hunter Bishop. Brewster going ahead in the counts today. Besides the Chandler Taylor strikeout, they have 2 walks against Kaufman alone, 5 so far on the day. Kaufman thought about third, thought about first, and then just brought it back. Trying to scare the runners a little bit. And now he's staring in, back on the mound. Here comes the 2-0. That one low for ball 3. Smythe and Shevchik and the rest of the dugout for Brewster saying good-eye to Hunter Bishop. Not a guy that walks a lot, does have 25 strikeouts on the year. And that next pitch is in for a strike. That one just above the knees to Hunter Bishop, so the count moved to 3-1, as you got to imagine he was just taking on that one. 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning, runners on first and second. The score is Brewster 1, YD nothing. As again, runners at first and third for the Whitecaps. As Hunter Bishop calls time, gets himself set in the box again. Waiting on the 3-1. And that one's low, so the bases are now loaded. 3 walks, load the bases.
Well, this has been the Whitecaps' MO, hasn't it? They've just been clogging up the base paths with their patience at the plate. Whether or not they've been able to get the big hits to kind of clean up situations like this has been inconsistent so far this season. But really, you know, we've been in every game. They've been able to get those runners on and set the table really throughout the year, and a lot of that has become because of the plate discipline. And we've seen Bishop. You mentioned he has not had the best plate discipline so far this season. He draws a walk, and then Malfetta, who'd been prone to striking out, draws a walk. That was back in the 3rd inning. So these 8 and 9 hitters are maybe turning a new leaf here as Malfetta digs in.
Again, bases loaded for Christian Malfetta. First pitch to the designated hitter today. Drops in for a strike. Count moves to 0-1. As you mentioned, Malfetta walked in the 3rd inning, one of 6 Whitecaps to do so. The 1. This one misses in the dirt. For ball 1, the count moves to 1-1. Brewster, again, they only have 2 hits on the day. One from Marty Costas and one from Julian Infante. Both who are on base right now. Infante at second, Costas at third. But with 6 walks, they are finding a way to get on regardless, as this next pitch misses again in the dirt. Count moves to 2-1. Malfetta digging in. One of the Stanford Cardinals went up against his teammate last time these 2 teams played, against Bubic, who pitched phenomenally for this Red Sox team, as Malfetta will foul this next one right above the dugout for the YD Red Sox to move the count to 2-2. Staring in is Kaufman, trying to avoid a disastrous situation here. The 2-2 on its way. This one in for a strike. Third strike got Malfetta looking. So Kaufman does indeed end that, and the Whitecaps leave 3 runners on. No runs come through off of no hits for Brewster. The score is still Brewster 1, Whitey 0 after 4 innings of play. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Welcome back to Stony Brook Field. It's the top of the 5th inning. Brewster leads YD 1-0 as the 4, 5, and 6 batters are set to take their swing at things in this top of the 5th inning. Carlos Cortez digging in for the Red Sox. First pitch from Milto misses outside. Mickey Gasper had to move his glove. So the count is 1-0 to the left fielder today for the Red Sox. The 1-0, this one in for a strike as Paulie Milto moves the count to 1-1. Milto still on the mound. Again, it's the top of the 5th inning, so this is the longest Milto's ever gone in the CCBL. As this next pitch, Cortez has to kind of jump out of the way. That one was a ball that almost hit Cortez, so the count moves to 2-1. The 2-1 drops in for another strike and evens the count.
Milto does have some experience going deep into games. He went 6 innings in the Lexington Regional against NC State.
The 2-2. This one swung on and hit to Connor Smith at short. Smith able to make the grab, throws it to Julian Infante, and that's good for out number 1 of this top of the 5th inning.
Got to give Carlos Cortez credit. He was hustling up the line. Maybe he just beat him by a half step, did the throw from Smith at shortstop. But they did get him over there.
Jake Slaughter now will bat for the Red Sox with 1 out and nobody on. Slaughter playing second today, as he'll hit one again right to Connor Smith. Connor Smith makes the scoop over to Infante, who grabs it, leaves the bag, and then makes the tag on the run as Slaughter unable to beat out Julian Infante there. A heads-up play by the first baseman for Brewster.
And that's really what his biggest value for the team has been, I'm sure, in the mind of Jamie Shevchik. Obviously, he's had some clutch hits in the batter's box, but providing stability to that first base position, it's been so important for the Whitecaps.
It'll be Drew Mendoza. He's the first baseman for the Red Sox today as he shows bunt on the first pitch, then pulls it back as that pitch was down in the dirt for ball number 1. Mendoza in his first at-bat struck out on a dropped strike as he'll hit one, this time to Nick Dunn at second. Dunn backhands it over to Infante, and that ends the inning. So besides the 1 hit in the 4th inning, Paulie Milto has been stellar for this Brewster team. He goes 1, 2, 3 in this inning. No runs come in, no hits come in, and nobody left on for the Whitey Red Sox. The score is still Brewster 1, Whitey 0 after 4.5 innings of play. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
It'll be Connor Smith, Kyle Datris, and Mickey Gasper all up to bat in this bottom of the 5th inning for the Brewster Whitecaps. Carl Kaufman still on the mound as Smith shows bunt, is able to bunt one up the third base line, but on his way he just kind of tripped, fell in the dirt there. So he will be out. This is a tough break there for the leadoff hitter for Brewster.
Yeah, you wonder if that might have been his bat. He dropped it. It was over there in the other batter's box. But you're right, just kind of stumbled on his way out of the box. He wound up running the rest of the way down, but by then there was no way he was going to be able to beat it out.
So now Kyle Datris will come up to bat for Brewster with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th inning. Again, Brewster leads 1-0 over the Red Sox. Staring in is Kaufman. First pitch to Datris just misses for ball 1. Datris struck out in the first inning in a 1-2-3 inning for Van Scoy as the 1-0 is in for a strike. Count moves to 1-1, and then in the 3rd inning, Datris walked, but nothing came of that walk as again, the Whitecaps have only scored 1 run on a wild pitch. The 1-1, this one bounces between the 5-hole of Trainer, I believe, and into the backstop. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Kyle Datris. The 2-1. This one misses down low, so Kyle Datris moves the count to 3-1. Takes a couple practice swings, now back in the batter's box. Here comes the pitch, and that one low in the dirt. So once again, for the 2nd time today, Kyle Datris will move to first on a walk.
And that's now 4 free passes that Kaufman has issued since he's entered the game. Just can't quite find the strike zone right now. And for a guy who doesn't exactly have blowaway stuff, really, when he's pitching well, he throws it in the zone and changes speeds. That's a really tough thing to work his way out of.
Brewster now with a runner on for Mickey Gasper, who hasn't gotten on base today, kind of uncharacteristic for him as first pitch. Again, that one in the dirt. Trainer had to glove it just to avoid it from going between his 5-hole, so that's going to be ball 1. Mickey Gasper grounded out to shortstop in his first at-bat in the first inning to end that first inning, as the next pitch just paints the corner for strike number 1. And in the 3rd inning, Mickey Gasper had a well-hit pop fly over to left field. We got a little excited here. We kind of thought that one was going out, but didn't quite make it, as the next pitch to Gasper is a strike, moves the count to 1-2.
That had some meat on it. It wasn't more than a pop fly out there into left, just a laser, but had that sound off the bat, but maybe not the distance. They had a little underneath it.
1-2. As runner going, Datras moving, and that one hit to Mendoza. He'll backhand it, make the play over at first, but as I mentioned, Datras was already on his way to second, so he will move into scoring position for Marty Costas.
So a bit of good fortune there, because although it was a bit of a tricky play for Mendoza, as you said, more to backhand it, there was a chance he could have turned two on that play if Datras wasn't going, but he was, and now he got the runner in scoring position.
Marty Costas taking his practice swings now in the batter's box. First pitch to Marty is outside for ball one. Costas has a hit today, one of only two Whitecaps to do so. Started out the second inning with a base hit and then was able to come all the way home on a wild pitch from Van Scoy. As this next pitch, a swing and a miss from Marty Costas. Count moves to 1-1. With a runner in scoring position, Costas trying to get his 11th RBI of the year. Here comes the pitch, and he'll whiff at that one again, so count moves to 1-2. Kaufman does have 2 strikeouts today. He's walked 4, but does have 2 strikeouts. Got Chandler Taylor to swing and miss, and got Christian Molfetta looking as he'll turn around and make that throw to second. Try to catch Datras, but Datras able to get back to the bag, no problem. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and Brewster up 1-0, trying to bring home Kyle Datras, who's at second. And this next pitch, it's going to be appealed if he went, but he did. The first base Mark Delaney says he did, so that will do it again to end the inning. Kaufman gets a strikeout there, gets Marty Costas, and so the score is still 1-0. Brewster on top of YD. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Curry College offers 14 NCAA Division III athletic teams in sports such as football, baseball, softball, basketball, hockey, soccer, lacrosse, tennis, cross country, and volleyball. Read about the success of the Curry Cardinals and their championship teams it's all online at www.curry.com. As the first pitch to Quintana was in for a ball from Pauly Milto, who's still on the mound for Brewster. A swing and a miss there. On that next one, moves the count to 1-1 to Quintana. Playing third base for this Red Sox squad today. His team has really had a hard time offensively today. Just 1 hit on Pauly Milto, as this next one doesn't quite drop in the strike zone, so that will be ball 2. Milto hasn't walked anybody today, has 2 strikeouts to his name. The 2-1, that one misses upstairs to move the count to 3-1. Milto has faced 3 batters in every single inning. So far, it's the top of the 6th one. And Brewster leads 1-0 on YD as Quintana hits one to third. Kyle Datris makes the grab, and the throw over to Infante is just in time. And that will retire Quintana as Carter Ferris is about to dig in for the Red Sox.
That is the 5th straight ground ball out that Paulie Milto has been able to put together. That's counting, well, actually 6 if you count the double play, because the double play turned 2 for him. It's been great defense behind him for the Whitecaps. You know, this infield had a rocky start to the year in terms of putting together outs like this, but so far, for a guy who likes to pitch to contact down in the zone, it's been a great job.
Carter Ferris will foul his first pitch from Milto on the third base line. So the count moves to 0-1. Ferris was one of Paulie Milto's strikeout victims in the 3rd inning, his only at-bat today, as the next pitch from Milto drops before it crosses the plate for ball 1. Count moves to 1-1. Ferris, the designated hitter for the Red Sox today, the 1-1. This one swung on and hit right to Connor Smith at shortstop with the throw over to Infante, and that's in time again. So 2 up, 2 down. I feel like I've said that a lot today, but that's been the story of the game for Paulie Milto as Darren Trainer will come up to bat for the Red Sox.
Yeah, we've said it all but 1 inning. The only hit allowed was with 1 out in the 4th, and it's just been a great job of locating his pitches, keeping the hitters guessing, and just getting a boatload of soft contact, which is really his M.O. This has been just a textbook performance from Paulie Milto so far.
Darren Trainer will go have a little conversation with one of his coaches before he enters the batter's box, fixing his gloves. Paulie Milto just kind of standing there at the mound waiting for Trainer to re-enter. Trainer, the catcher today for the Red Sox. We've seen a couple of miscues, 2 wild pitches that Trainer had to run back and try to get, and 1 wild pitch actually brought home Marty Costas for the lone run of this game. A breaking ball there from Milto drops in for a strike. So the count moves to 0-1 on Darren Trainer. The 0-1. This one, another breaking ball and another strike from Paulie Milto. So the count is 0-2.
He's really been able to locate that curveball at the knees so far.
The 0-2, that one's just below the knees. Mickey Gasper makes the grab, so the count's now 1 ball, 2 strikes for Trainer. In the 3rd inning, Trainer had a fly ball to right field as the 1-2, a swing and a miss, and Paulie Milto does it again. He will get out the bottom of the order to end this top of the 6th inning with Brewster still on top, 1-0. No runs come through, no hits, and nobody left on. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Welcome back to Stony Brook Field. We'll just quickly send it down to the third member of our team, Aiden Doyle.
Thanks, Maura. Well, I talked to Coach Shevchik after that last inning, and he has just been ecstatic with the job that Paulie Milto has done thus far. 6 innings of shutout ball, just 1 hit allowed, and the thing that he really talked about was keeping the ball low. He talked about it before the game as a key to success for Milto today against the Red Sox. 10 of his 18 outs that he's gotten have been on ground balls. Only 3 strikeouts, 2 flyouts, and a couple of pop-ups, but 10 of them on ground balls.
Thanks, Aiden. And as we were doing the math in that break, 5 of those ground balls have been to Connor Smith at shortstop. So Paulie Milto just coming out and really surprising basically everyone, including his coach, as Chandler Taylor, his teammate, digs in at the plate for Brewster. It will be Taylor, Dunn, and Infante up to bat. First pitch to Chandler Taylor, a swing and a miss. Chandler Taylor struck out in his last at-bat. That was against Kaufman, as there's been a pitching change for the YD Red Sox in his first inning, as Brandon Nail throws this next pitch that misses for the Red Sox. Nail, a Greensboro, North Carolina native, plays at Western Carolina. Has a 1.62 ERA for this YD squad, as the next pitch, another swing and miss from Chandler Taylor to go behind in the count 1-2.
Yeah, this is a really poor matchup, I think, for Chandler Taylor at the plate. He's been swinging and missing a lot of fastballs recently, and he struggled against lefties. And here's a lefty who loves to throw fastballs, and Brendan Nail really attacks out there on the mound.
Nail staring in. Here comes the 1-2. That one just outside. The appeal to the third base ump says that he did not go. Check swing there from Chandler Taylor. Does not quite go around, so the count moves to 2-2. Nail with the pitch. This one sends Trainer out of his lunge to run the count full. Taylor did walk in the second inning, but as I mentioned, in the fourth, struck out. Trying to get on base for the second time today. The payoff pitch is in the backstop behind Trainer, so as I mentioned, for the second time today, Chandler Taylor works a walk and is able to take first safely.
Well, Taylor made me eat my words there. Was able to stay composed and earn the walk there. He's done a terrific job as a plate approaching the at-bats so far. Hasn't seen, I don't think, a pitch that he can take and try and drive yet, but has made the most of what he's been given.
Nick Dunn up to bat for Brewster. Interesting that Chandler Taylor has walked against the 2 lefty pitchers and then struck out against the righty, kind of proving us both wrong, as the first pitch to Nick Dunn is in for a strike. Count moves to 0-1 on Nick Dunn. Dunn came into this game with 5 RBIs in the past 3 games, as he'll hit one, rope one to short. Christian Koss unable to backhand it in time. He'll make the throw to second, which goes above the second baseman's head, and so everybody's safe. Nick Dunn at first, Chandler Taylor at second. Unable to turn an out there are the YD Red Sox, so no out with no outs and runners on first and second. Julian Infante will come up to bat for Brewster.
Yeah, that's going to be an E6. You have to admire the perseverance from Koss trying to glove flip that baseball over after he bobbled it initially, but not able to get anything out of it.
And Chandler Taylor thought about going to third on that one, but that one didn't quite go far enough for Slaughter to not have a handle on it, so Chandler Taylor still at second. Infante. First pitch to Infante. This one hits the knees of Trainer. He'll take off his mask, but nobody moves on the base path, so Trainer just flips it back to his pitcher.
The final line on Kaufman: through 2 innings, no hits or runs allowed, but he did walk 4 against 3 strikeouts.
Nail staring in. With the 1-0. That one just misses for ball 2, so the count moves to 2-0 against Julian Infante, who has one of Brewster's 2 hits today. He singled in the second inning. That one was a well-hit ball to right field, and then he's gone on base twice today as he walked in the fourth inning. 2-0. That one hit high into right field, and it will be caught by the right fielder Alex McKenna, who was moving in towards center with Kyle Isbell. That one just stayed up in the air long enough for McKenna to get under it, so that will put one down for the Brewster Whitecaps.
That's a perfect way to describe it, Maura. That just hung up a little too long off the bat of Infante.
But that one will move Chandler Taylor to third, if nothing else. And again, just one out as Hunter Bishop digs in for Brewster. Nick Dunn still at first for the Whitecaps, so runners on the corners. First pitch to Bishop is painted on the corner for strike number one. Bishop was up to bat when that wild pitch that brought Marty Costas came in, but then he hit into a double play, a 3-6 double play, as he fouls this next pitch into the netting behind him. But in his last at-bat in the fourth inning, we saw him show some plate discipline and work a walk for the Whitecaps. Didn't come home, though, as Christian Molfetta followed him with a strikeout looking. Count now 0-2 on the Arizona State Sun Devil. A swing and a miss there from Hunter Bishop. And just like that, there's 2 outs for Brandon Nail.
Bishop looking a little frustrated after that one. Another big spot here for Brewster with runners in scoring position. We saw Molfetta strike out in the fourth inning. And now here comes Michael Curry in the spot for Molfetta.
Well, as our own Aiden Doyle told us, Curry and Shevchik and Aiden Doyle were talking before the game, and Shevchik said that Curry had to be ready because he was going to get subbed in a big position. Well, this is a pretty big possession. The score is 1-0. Brewster is going to take all the offense they can get. They're up just 1 run on the Whitey Red Sox, and there's 2 outs and runners at the corners for Brewster. As Nail and Trainer just had a quick conversation on the mound. Trainer now back in his crouch. Nail staring back in for the Red Sox. It's the bottom of the 6th inning. Nail nodding his head and then swiveling it, and here comes the first pitch to Michael Curry, and that one gets Curry swinging, so the count moves to 0-1. As we mentioned, Michael Curry subbing in for Christian Molfetta, who struck out looking with the bases loaded in the fourth inning. Nail will check over at Nick Dunn on first, who doesn't have a big lead.
And there's some precedence here. Remember, way back on June 21st, Michael Curry was subbed in the 7th inning to come in and pinch hit with a couple of runners on. It was just like this, and he was able to deliver in that spot. Got an RBI single.
0-1, that one almost grazes the elbow of Curry as Nick Dunn is able to jog into second on looks like a wild pitch there again. That one just got behind Trainer. So now 2 runners in scoring position for the Whitecaps. Nick Dunn just taking his bases on some mistakes. Remember, he got on an E6, and now he just moved on what I assume was a wild pitch there from Brandon Nail. Curry calling for time in the batter's box. Now getting ready is Nail. Staring in. Waiting on the 1-1. Here it comes. This one misses outside for ball 2.
They scored that a passed ball to allow Dunn to move over to second base. Always tough to pick out which one of those it is.
2 balls, 1 strike. Michael Curry up to bat. And that one, he'll rope this next one foul on the third base line. If that one had stayed fair, that would have easily brought home Chandler Taylor. But doesn't goes a couple of feet out, so counts now 2-2 to Michael Curry. Again, a big position for him with runners on second now and third. Nail seems to know this is a big position for him too, taking his time out there on the mound. The 2-2. Curry waits on that one, and that will go in the dirt, so the count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes as Michael Curry takes some practice swings. Taps his stick on the plate and gets ready for the 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch. A swing and a miss. So Michael Curry strikes out to end the bottom of the 6th inning for the Brewster Whitecaps. The Whitecaps leave runners on second and third. No runs come through. Off of no hits for Brewster, the score is still Whitecaps up on the Whitey Red Sox 1-0 after 6 innings of play. Stick with us. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Back here at Stony Brook Field, Whitecaps and Red Sox. The Whitecaps are ahead 1-0 here in the top of the 7th inning. Kind of an interesting quirk on the old scorecard. Both sides have the top of the order due up in the 7th. For YD, it's the 3rd time through. For Brewster, it's the 4th time through. Here is Isbell, and he hits a ground ball left side. Coming over to field to his right is Datris. He moves over. He throws across. It's in time. Datris was in at third base. Had to move over right in front of the third base bag to scoop up that baseball and make the throw over. So Paulie Milto has still faced the minimum. That was his 71st pitch of the game as we stand here in the top of the 7th inning, and he has now matched the season high that he had this past spring with Indiana in terms of innings pitch. Or rather, in a frame, he will do that. Excuse me. Now it's Christian Cause's turn, the shortstop for the YD Red Sox. The only run of this game for Brewster, only run of this game, period, as Cause hits a ground ball back to Milto. He fields it after momentarily bobbling. He underhands it over to the first baseman, Infante. So 2 pitches and 2 men out here in the top of the 7th.
Well, we've seen Paulie Milto have to move from the mound a couple times today as we saw him, a ground ball from McKenna just kind of bloop over to him, and actually it blooped over to Infante, and then Paulie Milto had to foot race McKenna over to the bag and was able to get on before the number 3 hitter for the Red Sox. So Paulie Milto stepping up on defense.
So here's Alex McKenna. The 3 hitter today for YD has a couple ground ball outs. What else is new? The first pitch is a breaking ball dropped in there for strike number 1. Those 2 grounders, as Aiden said, it's now 13 of the outs that Milto has gotten have been via the ground ball. Only 7 others. Pitch misses. No, it's in there for a strike, outside corner. A bit of a delayed call from David Viveros, but he gives him the strike. And the count is 0-2. I'll tell you what, when you're working as well as Milto is, sometimes the corners get a little bit wider. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Just misses low on a breaking ball. Paulie Milto is cruising. And Milto, whenever he's out there on the mound, kind of always has a workman-like mentality. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It misses down and in to make the count 2-2. But boy, when he's producing like he is today, it really makes him look just like a machine out there. He is really locating his pitches well, getting the ground ball outs that he needs, and has still faced the minimum. Just one hit allowed. It was in the 4th inning. 2-2 pitch. In there, called. Strike 3 on an off-speed pitch. Alex McKenna knew it. He held up on his swing. He wasn't sure. Kind of froze him at the end. And what else is new? It's a 1-2-3 inning for Paulie Milto. He has now retired 11 in a row since that 4th inning single from Christian Koss. We're through 6.5. It's time to get up and stretch here in Brewster. And the Whitecaps are still ahead 1-0. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Waddell and Maura Sheridan. Top of the Whitecap order due up in the 7th inning, the 4th time that Connor Smith has dug in as the leadoff hitter for the Brewster Whitecaps. His first time against Brendan Nail, who remains on the mound for YD, the Western Carolina Catamount. Here comes the pitch from the lefty to the righty, Connor Smith, and it is in there for a strike at the knees. To make the count 0-1 on the Western Michigan Bronco. For Smith, it's been a day of ground ball outs. Got out to short, a double play ball in the 3rd inning, and then tried to bunt for a hit, got tripped up in the batter's box, and was retired 5-3 his last time up in the 5th. 0-1 pitches a ground ball toward the shortstop Koss. He fields it moving to his left and throws to first base in time. Bit of a low throw, but Mendoza, the first baseman, handles it. And so Connor Smith with 4 ground ball outs now in this ball game, and Brendan Nail gets the first out of the bottom of the 7th. Brewster ahead 1-0 here. Whitecaps got that run on a wild pitch. Marty Costas came in. That was way back in the 2nd inning. And since then, Brewster has had plenty of opportunities. They've left 8 runners on base in this game, have the Whitecaps. YD has yet to leave a base runner on at all. Paulie Milto has faced the minimum through 7. Just 1 hit allowed, the only base runner of the game. And the pitch to Kyle Datris is a strike. From Brendan Nail, 0-1 is the count on Datris, who has a couple of walks to his credit today. In the 3rd and 5th innings, struck out in the 1st to start off his day. 0-1 pitch, foul back right side, and the count is 0-2. We're getting word from Aiden Doyle that that is going to be it for Paulie Milto in this ball game. Wonder exactly who Shevchik will turn to. Will Tribucher was taking some warm-up throws. And then Stan Bordner is also available if perhaps after Tribucher is done, he could come in and slam the door in the 9th inning. The pitch to Datris misses outside, so the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes now on the UNC Tar Heel. And for Milto, if it is over, it is a absolutely splendorous day. 7 innings pitched, 1 hit allowed. Only struck out 4, but a ton of ground ball outs. 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss, he got him. A curveball there from Nail, putting him away. And Kyle Datris strikes out for the 2nd time. In fact, was a curveball that got him in the 1st inning as well from Van Scoy. And so Datris is retired, 2 gone here in the bottom of the 7th. This game is whizzing right along. It is 6:50 p.m. here on the East Coast. This game started right at 5. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Whitecaps up 1-0. Pitch to Gasper as a breaking ball in there for a strike from Brendan Nail. A little uncharacteristic of him to start off with the breaking pitch. Something that we saw Paulie Milto do a lot of in this ball game. But Nail likes to attack with his heater. The pitch, the fastball, swing and a miss, just swung right through that, did Gasper. And I tell you what, when you decide to start him off with the breaking ball, that's the luxury that you have. You can run that fastball up and see if you can get him to chase. And a well-disciplined hitter like Gasper going after that one. 0-2 is the count on the switch hitter batting right. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball in there, outside corner, strike 3 called. Gasper shaking his head at Dave Viveros, but he'll walk back to the dugout, and Nail strikes out a couple of hitters to finish off the 7th inning. In fact, he struck out 4 of the past 5 hitters he's faced and retired 6 in a row. At the end of 7, it's 1-0 Whitecaps. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network, and Will Tribuker is coming out for the 8th. All right, we'll welcome you back to Stony Brook Field. Whitecaps are up 1-0 here, but let's check in on the rest of the league with Koki Riley. Koki?
Thanks, Carter. Orleans is up 5-1 against Catuit, from Catuit in the top of the 5th inning. Bourne is up 1-0 on Chatham in the top of the 3rd. Falmouth is up 2-0 on Hyannis in the top of the 4th inning. And finally, Wareham's up 1-0 against Harwich from White House Field in the top of the 1st. Back to you, Carter.
All right, thank you, Koki. A few games still just getting underway here on the Cape. It's a gorgeous Friday night here in Brewster. Perfect night to come and bring the family and see some baseball at the lovely Stony Brook Field. As we anticipated, as we received word, Paulie Milto's day is done. He goes 7 innings pitched, 1 hit allowed, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts, and 13 outs on the ground, which is pretty darn impressive. One of the best performances we've seen from any Whitecap pitcher so far this season, and he does yield to Will Tribuker. Tribuker so far on the season, this is appearance number 7 for him. He's got a 4.15 ERA from 13 innings, 10 hits allowed in those 13 frames, 8 walks, and 18 strikeouts. He looked excellent the last time he came on to pitch for Brewster. That was against these YD Red Sox in South Yarmouth through 2 2/3 of scoreless ball. 3 hits allowed, walked 2, and struck out 5. Kind of a bridge between the starter McDermott and the back end of the Brewster pen. And the pitch is low to leadoff hitter Carlos Cortez. It's the 4, 5, and 6 hitters due up for YD. Cortez hitting from the left side against the lefty Tribuker. He'll be followed by Slaughter and Mendoza, and if anybody gets on, Quintana. Tribuker staring in. 1-0 the count, the pitch. A breaking ball that misses low to make it 2-0 now on Carlos Cortez. So far, the rising sophomore out of South Carolina is 0 for 2 with the pop fly and a ground ball. 2-0 pitch, misses low. So 3-0 the count here. Not the best of starts for Will Tribuker, still trying to get a feel for it on the mound, it looks like. The Michigan man. Here comes a 3-0. And it misses outside for ball 4. So the proceedings for Will Tribuker begin with a 4-pitch walk. The first walk allowed by Whitecap pitching in this ball game. And Carlos Cortez, who has some speed to him, he's 4 out of 5 stealing bases, is aboard first base to lead things off in the top of the 8th inning. Whitecaps protecting a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and that's a tying run right there on first. It doesn't really feel like it because the way Milto was pitching, but this is only a 1-0 game, so easily could kind of blow up in the Whitecaps' face if things don't go their way.
You have to feel like Will Tribuker is motivated to try and bridge the gap and get a win for Paulie Milto. The first pitch is a fastball for a strike to Jake Slaughter. Slaughter on the day is 0 for 2 with a couple of ground ball outs. And Robert Broom is warming up in the bullpen right now for Brewster. Pitch misses low to make the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Broom we saw last night in Falmouth. Came on to get a save of sorts. A strange way that game ended with Jeff Trundy, the Falmouth manager, waving the white flag with the score 12-3 in the sixth, and rain pouring down. 1-1 pitch is hit on the ground sharply left side. It's in the fair ball down the left field line, and it's a base hit rolling into the left field corner. Costas fields it heading into third base, and stopping there is Costas, and into second base with a stand-up double is Jake Slaughter. So just like that, a double down the left field line means it's second and third and nobody out for YD. Slaughter on second, Cortez on third base, and that brings up Drew Mendoza in. Well, Drew Mendoza is due up, but it's going to be Nico Horner, a pinch hitter, coming in for the Red Sox here.
And Horner had a home run the other day in the first pitch he saw.
That's right, a leadoff homer.
So this is a dangerous thing as we see Austin Straub going up to have a chat with Will Tribuker.
And you wonder, since Broom is warming up in the pen, obviously we've talked about before his history with Mercer. He's been used in situations a lot this past spring with Mercer where they've called upon him where he's thrown maybe, 4, 5, 6 pitches in the bullpen and then thrown out there in a high leverage situation. He is no stranger to that, and that is not something that phases him at all. And so you wonder, since he's still working out there, if perhaps this could be maybe the last batter for Tribuker or close to that against Nico Horner, who replaces Mendoza. Mendoza finishes his day 0-for-3. Horner, the rising junior out of Stanford. He's originally from Oakland, California. So far on the season, hitting .302 with 4 home runs and 13 runs driven in. Also has speed to him. He's 9 out of 13 on the base path so far this season. This team, YD, second in the league in stolen bases with 40. So Horner, a right-handed hitter, digs in against the lefty Tribuker. Second and third, nobody out. Whitecaps up 1-0. The pitch. In there for a strike at the knees. We're in the top of the 8th inning here at Stony Brook Field. Easily the tensest moment of the game for Whitecap pitching. The corners are in for Brewster. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball hit high in the air, shallow right field. Moving back as the second baseman, Dunn. He can't make the play, and it drops for a base hit. Scoring is Cortez. Heading to third base is Jake Slaughter. Heading into second base and getting in there in time on a throw that was cut off is Nico Horner. So Nico Horner grabs a bat off the bench and gets the job done. We are even at 1. So no win today for Paulie Milto with the score tied. We'll see if they score about a single or a double for Horner, but either way, it's an RBI for him. That's RBI number 14 on the season. And now Quintana will dig in with the same situation as before. Second and third and nobody out, except now the ball game is tied. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. It misses low. And the count 1-1 strike. Or excuse me, 1-0. They have the scoreboard wrong. I thought I missed the first pitch for a minute. But the count 1-0. 1 ball, no strike. The first pitch was a fastball that missed below the knees. Second and third, no one out. And the 1-0 pitch misses outside. Robert Broom, I think, is still doing his thing out in the bullpen. We're trying to get a good look at it over here from our vantage point behind home plate. 2-0 is the count. On the righty, swinging Quintana, who has a couple ground ball outs against Milto to his name. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Broken back ground ball left side. The shortstop Smith scoops it, checks the runner at third, and throws to first base for the out. Just what the doctor ordered for Brewster. That one really shattered the bat out of the hand of Quintana. And another ground ball to short makes it out number 1 here.
Looks like Robert Broom's just kind of standing out there in the bullpen, not really practicing anymore. As we know, he's usually quick to warm up and ready to go whenever, so he only needed a couple of pitches there. And he's just kind of mulling around, getting ready.
Yeah, he kind of has that look to him. He's very, obviously very relaxed. That's the way he plays. He kind of tosses the ball up and down, takes some soft tosses. He's ready to go. It was scored a single for Horner, so an RBI single has tied this ball game. And the pitch to Carter Ferris is fouled away toward the right side behind the plate. And the count is 0-1 on Ferris, the man from UAB. Ferris a strikeout and a ground ball to his name. All these line scores against Milto are pretty darn similar. 0-1 is the count on the right-handed hitter. The entire infield is now in for Brewster with 1 man out, second and third. here in the top of the 8th inning. 1 run already in. Shows bunt and bunts it down the third base line. It rolls foul. And running over to pick it up is Tribuker. That ball had some English on it, and he wanted to make sure that stayed in foul ground. Mickey Gasper rewarding him with the pound in the rear end, and the count is 0-2. As Carter Ferris will head back and grab a bat. As he paces back to his spot, you wonder, as you're talking about, Maura, how long the leash is going to be for Jamie Shevchik. Had a terrific outing from his starter, Paulie Milto. And then the other Big Ten arm in the stable today, Will Tribuker, with a little bit of control issues here. 0-2 is the count. Lefty stares in and deals. A high chopper left side, foul ground. So we'll do it again. 0-2 is the count on Carter Ferris. Ferris hails from Trussville, Alabama. Hit .305 with 3 home runs and 30 ribbies for the UAB Blazers. We're getting warm. Some 0-2 pitch is a high pop fly right side heading toward foul territory. Infante's on the run, but he can't get there in time, and it will land foul. That one was right in the Bermuda Triangle out there. And we're getting word that the whatever action that was in the bullpen for Brewster has stopped. So this is Tribuker's inning. 0-2 is still the count on Carter Ferris. Again, digging in from the right side. A big spot here for the Whitecaps. Jimmy Shevchik said after last night's win in Falmouth, they're just trying to stay on the right side of 500. They're happy that they were able to come back home with this 14-12-1 record. Tribuker ready to deal 0-2. Here it comes. It misses up and away to make the count 1-2. Only 2 runs in this ballgame. We're tied at 1. The first one came in the second inning when Marty Costas scampered home on a wild pitch out of the hand of the YD starter Spencer Van Scoy. And then the game was tied up here earlier in this top of the 8th inning on an RBI single from Nico Horner. And that's been it. That's been the scoring in this ball game. Carter Ferris at the plate, facing a 1-2 count. Here comes the pitch. Hit high in the air, shallow right field. This one's in fair territory. Taylor's coming in a bit. Now he's under it, and he makes the catch. Tagging from third base is the runner Slaughter. The throw down, and it gets past Gasper into the backstop, and it's a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Carter Ferris. That throw might have beaten him. If Gasper had fielded it correctly, it looked like it skittered right in front of the home plate in that dirt area. The throw from Chandler Taylor in right field. And they go over to third to see if he left early. And he did. And the inning is over for the second time. A YD Red Sox player has been called out by a Brewster Whitecaps infielder. They go over to third. They step on the bag. Third place umpire Jim Francesca said he did not go. We didn't wait until Taylor caught the baseball before he took off from third. So the run doesn't count, and the inning is over. It's a double play. And we're through 7.5. Wow, 1 run in this inning for YD. On 2 hits, they leave 1 on a strange play to finish this inning, and an extremely important call saying that the runner at third left early, and Carter Ferris, and no protest from YD, it looks like here. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We welcome you back after a confusing situation. That was the second time the Whitecaps have turned that play, but as Maura mentioned, it was in Harwich. They got Kobe Vance to finish things up. We have a number of defensive changes for YD, and the pitch to Marty Costas is in there for a strike on the outer edge. 0-1 is the count, but the takeaway from that bottom of the 8th inning is that only one run came across, and they get the double play to finish things off. The 9-spot trainer will be leading things off in the 9th inning for YD. We are tied at 1. Nail still on the mound, and he deals. It's in there for a strike at the knees to make the count 0-2 on Marty Costas. We'll get you set on those defensive changes in a second here. Costas over at third base for YD. As, of course, they have to, as Costas takes a pitch in there for a called strike 3 on the outer edge. And that is out number 1. 3 straight strikeouts now for Brendan Nail on the mound, and the last 2 have been looking. So it is Quintana, well, hang on, it's coming through on our system here. That can't be right, what's on there now. It's all accounting for the Horner coming in as the pinch hitter. Came in a big spot and delivered the RBI single that tied this game in the 8th inning. Here's the lefty Chandler Taylor. The pitch is grounded softly foul left side. So Taylor's behind him a count 0-1. Koss is indeed at third base, despite what our system says. At shortstop is Connor Kaiser, who is entering this game. Ready to go is Nail. And the pitch is up high for a ball. 1-1 is the count. Horner is slotted in at second. And here comes the 1-1 offering to Chandler Taylor. And he swings and misses to make the count 1-2 on the Alabama product. And the first baseman for YD is Slaughter. So Slaughter moves from second to first. Horner enters the game and takes up second base. Kaiser enters the game and plays short, in for Quintana, who has left. And Costa, shortstop, moves to third. The pitch to Chandler Taylor misses inside. So that makes it 2 balls and 2 strikes now on Chandler Taylor. So Kaiser will hit for Quintana in the 7th spot for YD. Pitch to Taylor misses outside, so the count is 3-2 now on the man from Alabama. So far for Taylor, it's been a very patient day for him at the plate. He's walked twice, has a strikeout to his name as well in between those walks for this ball game. And he's been stranded at third twice as well in this game. Here comes a 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him with a curveball. Did Nail. It's a drop third strike. They're going to throw over to first base, and they do get it there in time, though it wasn't the best throw from the catcher trainer. Kind of played it on a hop to the new first baseman Slaughter. So that's 4 straight Ks for Nail. He has struck out 6 out of 7 batters that he has faced. Right now he is locked in on the mound for the Red Sox. 2 gone in the bottom of the 8th. And it seems like Nail is kind of adhering to that scouting report. The fastball is his bread and butter. He throws it a lot, likes to attack with it. When he wants to swing and miss, he kind of goes to that curveball or that slider. And here comes Nick Dunn. We're tied at 1, bottom 8. Pitch to a lefty second baseman is another curveball, swing and a miss. Made Nick Dunn look like he was golfing there. And the count is 0-1 on the Maryland Terrapin, who so far in this game has reached base once on an error from the shortstop Koss. 0-1 pitch, misses up high. And the count, 1 ball and 1 strike on Nick Dunn. Night starting to fall just a little bit here. In a tied game, you kind of have to keep an eye out for it. Here comes the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball, swing, and a miss. 1-2 is the count. Worth noting here that these 2 hitters, Taylor and Dunn, who have now been fooled by a couple of curveballs, these are the first 2 hitters to face Brendan Nail the second time today. They're still getting fooled by his stuff. 1-2 pitch on the way. Hit high in the air, foul, left side, out of play. We'll do it again with the count 1-2. Mentioned the light. Of course, these teams have already played to a tie this season. It was the only tie of the year for either team so far. That was in Yarmouth, and here the stadium doesn't have lights, and if we maybe have some free baseball, it could be something to talk about. 1-2 pitch is fouled away again on the left side. Dunn just trying to stay alive. That was a breaking ball that he managed to spoil. And the count 1-2 on Nick Dunn. Nail ready with the 1-2 pitch. Misses outside and high. That fastball just looked like it missed. Just slipped out of his hand for a bit. The numbers on Brendan Nail for Western Carolina this past year aren't great. 6.67 ERA, mainly as a starter. Walked 47 guys in 88 innings. The pitch is again fouled away left side, and that one nearly got Ryan Smythe, the third base coach, had to dive, hit the deck, but he looks like he's all right. And some affirmative cheers. It looks like somebody made a nice play on the baseball over down there by the bullpen. 2-2 is the count. Still on Nick Dunn. Dunn taking his hacks here. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. It misses outside. 3-2. Now the count on Nick Dunn. The runs in this game. A wild pitch brought Marty Casas home in the second. An RBI single from Nico Horner, the pinch hitter, tied the game in the 8th. We're tied at 1, bottom of the 8th inning. 3-2 pitch. Outside for ball 4. So Nick Dunn will work a 2-out walk. That's the first base runner for Brewster since Nick Dunn got on by an error in the 6th inning. So it's been a whole time through the lineup. And now here comes Julian Infante digging in from the right side. Infante, so far today, has a single and a walk. Also flew out to right field in the 6th inning, his last time up. Looks like there's a man, or a couple of pitchers actually out there in the bullpen for YD, a couple of right-handers. As they check the runner at first base, Nick Dunn. Looks like that is Carl Blum out of Duke, who is out there for the Red Sox, the Toms River, New Jersey native. Still waiting for our first pitch to Julian Infante. Nail pitching from the stretch for the first time in a while. Here comes the pitch. Now he's going to throw to first base. It's an important runner here on first base. Nick Dunn, so far just the one stolen base in one attempt this season for the Whitecaps. But you have to imagine in a tied game with 2 out, capable hitter at the plate. He's had some clutch hits for you so far this season. This is one where that calculation gets kind of pushed towards sending him. Here comes the pitch to Infante. It's check swing on the ball in the dirt. Didn't go around, so it's 1-0 on the Vanderbilt product. Mentioned Nail gave up a bunch of walks over the course of his season last year. Another weakness for him was the long ball. Gave up 11 homers in 87 2/3 innings pitch for the rising junior from Greensboro. Infante still waiting for his first homer on the Cape. And here, nope, they're going to check the runner at first base again, really paying a lot of respect to Nick Dunn over on first base is Brendan Nail and these YD Red Sox. 1-0 is the count on Infante. And now we're getting word that Broom is back up for Brewster in the bullpen. We are waiting on a 1-0 pitch to Infante. Here it comes. It's up high. Misses high and tight on a fastball there to make the count 2 balls and no strikes. So far this season, the Whitecaps have never played a game that's gone beyond 9 innings. They have played a couple of extra inning games, but they were both in double headers. They were only supposed to play 7. So those went 8, and then were a walk-off loss in Katuitt and a walk-off win here against Bourne on that homer from Costas, both in 8 innings. 2-0 pitch, misses down and in. So ahead in the count 3-0 now is Julian Infante. Here at Stony Brook Field, we are tied at 1 in the bottom of inning number 8. Whitecaps looking to take advantage of the opportunity here. They've left 8 runners on base already in this game, compared to just 1 for the opposition YD, and the 3-0 pitch is low for ball 4. So back-to-back walks from Nail, maybe running out of gas here a little bit in this 8th inning. That was pitch number 51 since he entered the game in the start of the 6th inning. And it's first and second now for Bishop. Bishop so far today lined into a double play after just whacking the cover off the ball in the 2nd. Walked in the 4th and struck out swinging in the 6th inning against Nail. That was Nail's first of 7 strikeouts. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss. Boy, that curveball is just fooling Whitecap after Whitecap as Nail uncorks it here. The count is 0-1. Problem with the last couple of hitters is that he wasn't quite able to locate with the heater. 0-1 the count on Hunter Bishop, who has showed good patience today at the plate for the Whitecaps. Checking the runner at second base is Nail. Here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball. Swing and a miss. 0-2 the count on Bishop. Well, just the same pitch as before. It seems like that pitch has just enough late movement on it to fool these hitters here. 1-2 is the count on Bishop, who has shed the sunglasses. It's gotten considerably, maybe not quite dark, but less bright here at Stony Brook Field. There are some clouds overhead, becoming more overcast, and obviously approaching sunset here, 7:15 around there on the East Coast. 0-2 pitches a slider that misses low. Count 1-2. Nail trying to see if he could get Hunter Bishop to chase a third time. Couldn't do it. They count 1-2. It's primarily that four-seam, the slider, and the curve for Nail. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Hunter Bishop slams his bat into the dirt in front of home plate. He is down with a strikeout. 8 Ks in 3 innings of work for Brendan Nail. A terrific performance for him, able to work out of that jam in the bottom of the 8th inning. For Brewster, no runs, no hits. They leave 2. It's now 10 runners left on for Brewster in this ball game. At the end of 8, still tied at 1. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. We welcome you back to Stony Brook Field. Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan here with you. We're tied at 1 as we go to the top of the 9th inning, and there's a pinch hitter against Will Tribuker. It's Luke Miller. He takes a pitch outside. Luke Miller out of the University of Indiana, so an all Big Ten battle here with Tribuker on the mound. We are still tied at 1. 1-0 pitch. Misses low on a Tribuker fastball to even the count up to make the count 2-0. Miller so far this season for the Whitey Red Sox hitting .304, 2 home runs, 6 RBI. The pitch to the righty is grounded softly toward the right side, scooped up by the second baseman Nick Dunn, who throws to first for the out. So Miller sees just a couple of pitches and grounds out 4-3 to begin the 9th inning. It's going to be an interesting question to see how Jamie Shevchik uses his bullpen here in the 9th. We still have a fair amount of light. It has gotten darker since the start of the game, but seems like we could play, with this game moving along pretty quickly, a couple of innings beyond the regulation 9. Here's Kyle Isbell digging in from the left side. leadoff hitter for the Red Sox. The pitch. It's a ball that misses inside. Miller came in for the catcher, Darren Trainer. Miller's a third baseman listed on the roster, but he can catch this ball. The pitch is in there for a strike on a fastball. 1-1 the count. So far for Isbell today, he's 0 for 3. It all came against Paulie Milto, who had a terrific outing if you're just joining us. Here comes the 1-1. Misses way outside to make the count 2-1. Milto faced the minimum over 7 innings of work. Got a ton of ground ball outs, 11 to be exact, over the 7 innings. Just the one hit. Here comes the pitch, and it swung on and missed. Just golfing at it there was Kyle Isbell, so that brings the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tribuker looking a little more comfortable here, working out of the windup, was working out of the stress for that entire 8th inning. Pitch is grounded just softly foul behind the plate. Tribuker came on in relief of Milto and gave up that RBI single from Nico Horner to tie this ball game at 1. That's where we stand now in the top of the 9th. 2-2 pitch. Breaking ball, softly grounded foul right side. And the count will hold 2-2. Isbell, I mentioned that if UNLV had a real hot start to this season. Had 9 RBI in his first 12 games here on McCabe. Here comes the 2-2. It misses up high. Isbell now with 16 on the year. Runs driven in. And the count is 3-2 on the criminal justice major. Tribuker takes a deep breath out on the mound and deals 3-2. It's foul back to the screen. That was a fastball down in the zone. Nice job by Isbell to get underneath that. Not as easy as it made it look. Just spoil it. 3-2 is the count. Isbell spent last summer with the California Collegiate League, the Santa Barbara Foresters, one of the stronger teams in that league. Here comes the 3-2. It's hit high in the air into foul territory down the left field line. Casas giving chase, but he runs out of room. So we will do it once again. 3-2 the count. And since Milto has left the ball game, this game has kind of slowed down a bit. I think everybody kind of knows how important each pitch is, each hitter. With the score, it's still tied at 1 here in the top of the 9th inning. Here comes the 3-2 pitch from Tribuker. In there called, strike 3. That was a fastball on the outer edge. And it looked like Isbell knew it when it crossed the plate. A brilliant pitch there from Tribuker to get his first strikeout of this ball game.
Well, not to state the obvious, but just a much better start for Tribuker. He came into this game and walked Carlos Cortez to start the game, and then allowed a single or a double and then an RBI single from Nico Horner. So just a much better start. He does seem way more comfortable on the mound in this 9th inning.
And now it's Christian Koss's turn. Koss now the YD third baseman. He shows bunt, and he takes the pitch low. The Whitecaps corner infielders, Datras at third and Infante at first base, taking notice of that, scampering in, but both of them now retreat. They are still in at the corners. Middle infielders are back. 1-0 pitch is hit on the ground down the left field line. It's a fair ball and rolling into the left field corner. Heading around second base is Christian Koss. He's going to head into second with a standing double. A 2-out, 2-bagger for Christian Koss, and the anteater from UC Irvine is now the go-ahead run in scoring position for YD here in the 9th.
Number 23 from Cal Poly, St. Louis Obispo, right fielder.
For Koss, that is double number 3 for him on the season. This is 19th game. And now Alex McKenna will dig in for YD, and before that happens, Mickey Gasper going out to talk to Tribuker. What do you think he's saying out there, Maura?
Well, I am not Mickey Gasper, but probably just take a deep breath, just get this last out. You're, with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, it's okay to give up basically anything but a base hit here. So it's, Mickey Gasper, just a leader on this team, probably just words of encouragement. Never heard him say a negative thing before.
Well, Jamie Shevchik is now making his way out to the mound and calling the infield in. No signal yet from Shevchik. He's always kind of one to keep us waiting when he comes out for these mound discussions. We know there is action in the pen for Brewster. And Tribeaker was looking toward the dugout, but Shevchik kind of pushed him over and now is talking to the whole infield. Don't think he's going to pull the trigger. We'll see, though. A lot of times, sometimes you wait for the home plate ump to come out and make him signal over. We'll see what happens. And David Veras is going to walk out to the mound. Nevertheless, the entire Whitecap infield is in on the pitcher's mound, and there is the signal. So Shevchik waited as long as he could, and we will have a new pitcher in the game for the Whitecaps. And it looks like Robert Broom is going to be the man to come in and finish things off here in the ninth inning with a runner on second base and 2 men out. We will bring you the rest of this ninth. For the top of the ninth, when we come back, you are listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We're tied at 1 at Stony Brook Field. We're back at Stony Brook Field, and we've got not one but 2 substitutions to make you aware of here. Robert Broom, Brewster's best reliever, has been called upon, and in turn, Scott Pickler is calling upon arguably his best hitter this season, Alfonso Rivas, and in turn, Jamie Shevchik is signaling for an intentional walk as Mickey Gasper is holding the mitt out, and Robert Broom is still sidearming the first intentional ball. I haven't seen a lot of intentional walks this season. I think this is the second one that we've seen in a Whitecaps game this year through an intentional ball 1, although Gasper's now back in the crouch with the count 1-0. I can't imagine they're going to pitch to him after intentionally falling behind him. A count 1-0 pitch is in there for a strike on the outer corner. So maybe a miscommunication or something. But it's now 1-1. It was an intentional ball. I as God is my witness, that's what happened. But it's Alfonso Rivas digging in. He's had a terrific season at Arizona this spring. Had a slow start on McCabe and has really been heating up. 1-1 pitch, swing and a miss. I hesitate to say it, but I think Broom might have blown that one by him. I mean, he doesn't really throw it too fast, but when you're trying to sit on something off speed, which is what Broom throws, a mid-80s fastball can sometimes fool you, and that's what happened. The count is 1-2. Missed the 10th appearance of a year for Broom. His ERA, 0.48. Just the 1 earned run. 1-2 pitch. Hit a looper into left field. It's going to dunk in there for a base hit. Rounding third base is Christian Koss. He's coming in. The throw from left field will not come into home plate. And YD has taken a 2-1 lead on an RBI single from Rivas. He falls behind him a count and then just winds up looping one over the opposite way. Some soft contact dropping in. And YD takes the lead in the ninth inning.
Well, that's his 9th RBI of the year for Rivas, and that's exactly why he was put in that situation. He is just a very capable hitter, and even against a guy like Robert Broom, you know, Rivas can just bloop one in and get you to bring guys home.
So now here comes Carlos Cortez with Rivas on first base. The pitch from Broom misses outside. That run, of course, is going to be charged to Will Tribuker. The line is complete for him, and ending in 2/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, a walk and a strikeout for the man out of Michigan. 1-0 pitch from Broom is fouled straight back toward us to make the count 1-1 on Cortez. So far for him, he drew a walk. That was the first batter that Tribuker faced. It was in the 8th inning. And he came around to score the tying run. It's 2-1. YD on top in the top of the 9th. For Brewster in the bottom of the 9th, it's Michael Curry who slotted in for Malfetta, leading things off as the pitch is fouled away toward the left side. And after Curry, it's the top of the order. Smith and Datris due up for Brewster. So definitely enough firepower in the 9th inning for Brewster to try and bring across a tying hit. The pitch to a lefty, Cortez, just misses down and away. Broom really trying to backdoor him there. That one just shot across. A ton of lateral movement on that pitch. That's his trademark pitch to a lefty hitter, is to just try and backdoor him with that sneaky little slider. And right there, had a ton of break to it, but just started off too far off the plate. 2-2 is the count. Here it comes. And it's hit on the ground. Left side. It's going to get into left field for a base hit. So Carlos Cortez has his first hit of the ball game. Again, just pushing that one the opposite way, much like Alfonso Rivas did for the RBI single. And now it's 2 on and 2 out for Slaughter. So Broom, who did not have his best outing, he pitched in last night's game in Falmouth. Didn't really have his best stuff, and for a guy that relies on a ton of breaking pitches, pitching in the pouring rain with a wet ball certainly doesn't help you. Still didn't give up a run in an inning in a third. 2 hits allowed. Actually picked up the win in the ball game. So here's Slaughter. Slaughter is a righty hitter. Hits a high chopper towards second base. Moving to his right is Nick Dunn, and he steps on the second base bag for the force out, and that retires the side. But YD gets a huge run on 3 hits, and they leave 2. At the end of 8.5 innings of play, the Whitecaps down to their final 3 outs. It's Curry, Smith, and Datris due up for Brewster as they try to extend this ball game. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We welcome you back. Bottom of the 9th inning, Brewster trailing 2-1. Curry will dig in. It's a couple of defensive changes. Casala is catching, and Rivas is at first base for the YD Red Sox. Curry, Smith, and Datris against the closer, Riley McCauley, who's been called upon by Scott Pickler, and the righty deals a breaking ball in there for strike 1. So far for McCauley, he has been Exactly what you'd think of when you think of a reliable closer. This is his 10th appearance, a 3.11 ERA for the right-hander. Has a total of 6 saves on the year. Pitch to the righty. Michael Curry is fouled away right side. Curry came in a pinch-hitting situation with first and third for Brewster, or rather second and third, in the 6th inning and struck out. That was against Nail, who wound up striking out 8 hitters in his performance over 3 innings of work. Waiting on a 0-2 pitch to Michael Curry here in the bottom of the 9th in Brewster. The pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him. Chased at a fastball out of the zone. That was high and outside from the way it looked here. Michael Curry with a couple of strikeouts to his name today, and there's one gone in the bottom of inning number 9.
Here we go, top of the batting order, ladies and gentlemen. Number 2, the shortstop from Western Michigan, Connor Smith.
So here comes Connor Smith. The Brewster Whitecaps have not had a hit since the well, here's the pitch to Smith. The righty swings and misses at a breaking ball. And the count is 0-1. The count on Smith so far for Smith today. 4 ground balls. One was on a bunt. He's 0 for 4. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. He swings and misses at another breaking ball. Riley McCauley showing the fastball and the curve early on in this appearance. That's basically what he is. He's a fastball and curve pitcher. Here comes the 0-2 pitch to Smith. Misses outside. And the count 1-2. McCauley, a rising junior from Sterling Heights, Michigan, out of Michigan State. His fastball will be in below 90s, and he has a ton of command of it and likes to run it up in spots just like this. 1-2 is the count. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and another breaking ball. Back-to-back strikeouts for Riley McCauley in the bottom of the 9th. And it looks like Kyle Datris will be the last hope for Brewster with 2 outs in the frame.
We're in number 3 for the Brewster Whitecaps.
Datris digging in here. Datris has a couple of walks to his name. A lot of walks in this game for the Brewster Whitecaps. They have 10 of them to be exact, but they've struck out 12, or rather 14 now. They had 12 heading into this inning. Now it's 14 in this ball game for the Whitecaps hitters. The pitch to Datris is a breaking ball that misses outside to make the count 1-0. Coming into this game, Brewster had just a ton of strikeouts in their past few games. Coming into last night, they were averaging 10 in their last 5. 1-0 pitch. Hit high in the air, foul ground. It's going to get out of play right side. The count is 1-1. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning here in Brewster. YD is ahead 2-1. The Whitecaps jumped out to a 1-0 lead in the second on a wild pitch that brought home Marty Casas, and Paulie Milto was terrific on the mound. Faced the minimum through 7. But Will Tribuker gave up a couple of runs in the 8th and 9th innings, respectively. The pitch is a breaking ball dropped in there for strike number 2, so Datris down to his last strike here in Brewster. 2 outs and nobody on. 1-2 the count on Kyle Datris. Riley McCauley looking to add another save to his total on the season. He is ready. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. It bounces in the dirt for ball 2. Datris not offering that breaking pitch from the Michigan State Spartan. The count is 2 balls and 2 strikes on Kyle Datris. Brewster trying to avoid falling to 14, 13, and 1. YD trying to get up to Orleans in the top of the East Division standings. 2-2 pitches foul back. And we will do it again. Crowd a bit more sparse than it was at the start of this game, where we had a packed house here at Stony Brook Field. Plenty of YD fans over on the first base side here as well, in addition to the Whitecap supporters. A couple hoots and hollers here at this tense moment of the ball game. 2-2 the count, bottom of the 9th, 2 out. 2-1 YD. The pitch. In there, called strike 3, inside corner, and the ball game is over. Riley McCauley comes in the 9th inning and strikes out the side. sending Curry, Smith, and Datris down on strikes, and the Whitecaps drop a tough one. The final score 2-1. YD gets the win, and this has to sting for the Whitecaps today, Maura.
Absolutely. You can tell Kyle Datcher, somebody who really does not show a lot of emotion out there, was extremely upset with that final call. He's still kind of staring down the umpire right now. He was very, very, very upset with that call. But yeah, it's just once again, after scoring, which I know those runs don't count yesterday, but 21 runs in 2 days, they're kind of back to where they were before, where they just scored 1 run today, and they had that 3-game stretch where they scored just 2, excuse me. So just kind of back to their old ways in terms of offensive struggles for this Brewster Whitecaps squad.
Kind of a strange offensive day for Brewster. They only had 3 hits. That error from Nick Dunn was the scoring was changed to a single. That was what was tripping me up before. So they have 3 hits on the game, but they managed to draw a total of 10 walks, and they left all 10 of those runners on. They left 10 runners on base in a game where they only had 3 hits. So kind of a strange situation. They weren't able to put any hard contact on the baseball, but you still have to feel like they have to take advantage of those opportunities, right? I mean, I'm sure that's what Chev is thinking.
Absolutely. They struggled to string hits together. They had that second inning where they had 2 hits in that second inning in that frame, and then after that there was no offense really. Nobody was putting the bat on the ball, and so that was, I'm sure, what we're going to hear from Shevchik. The main problem is that they can't really they didn't really have a big inning where, I mean, really it was only going to take just 3 hits strung together, and there you go, you won that game.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Brewster, especially coming off of the past couple of games where it seemed like the offense had found the ability to get the big hit, and that's something that Jamie Shevchik was really happy about when he was talking to us. And we'll hear what he has to say after this game when he talks to Aiden Doyle. He'll also have a player for us. We'll see who he gets, and a lot to discuss in this ball game, and including the games that are coming up next on the Whitecap schedule. We'll have all of that coming up for you on the post-game show. You're listening to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. We are not done yet from Stony Brook Field. Stay tuned. Go anywhere. The Whitecaps post-game show is coming up right after this.
That was huge for us. It's huge for the momentum going into tomorrow.
Only on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network. Back here at Stony Brook Field, Carter Woodhill and Morris Sheridan recapping a tough loss for the Whitecaps tonight. 2-1 is the final score. It was a tough going for Brewster, but just to recap the ball game, the 3 runs came in as follows. Brewster opened the scoring. Marty Costas scrambled in on a wild pitch in the second inning. That gave Brewster a 1-0 lead that held up for a good long portion of this ball game. But then a run in the 8th on an RBI single from Horner, a pinch hit single, no less. And then Rivas drove in and a pinch hit single again in the 9th inning. The run to make it 2-1, but still a terrific performance from the Whitecaps, especially the starter, Paulie Milto, who went 7 shutout innings, just 1 hit, faced the minimum, and he is with Aiden Doyle.
Thanks, Carter. Here with Paulie Milto. Paulie, 7 innings, like Carter said, just 1 hit, faced the minimum. What was working for you out there on the mound today?
Had fastball, had a lot of movement, and then after getting him off my fastball, throwing my slider for a strike was critical.
You had 10 starts for Indiana this year. Other than the start in Chatham where you kind of came in at the last second for Lingenfeld, who got injured, this is your first real official start in the Cape this summer. How does the approach change coming in as a starter rather than the reliever?
It's just getting in a routine. You know, I kept my same routine as Indiana. It's just a little different feel.
And obviously with pitching being kind of on the low or thin this year so far, moving forward, this is a team that needs guys to step up. Pitching as a starter or a reliever, moving forward, like what is your approach for the rest of the season?
I don't know, just going out and doing what coach needs me to do. I don't really have a preference, you know. I just go in there and pitch.
All right, thank you very much, Paulie.
Okay, thank you so much, Aiden. Paulie Milto getting the no decision in the outing so far today. The winning pitcher for the YD Red Sox was Nail out of Western Carolina. His first decision, he's now 1-0. Will Tribuker takes the loss for Brewster. He drops to 0-1, and Riley McCauley gets his 7th save of the year. The game took 2 hours and 42 minutes to complete here in front of 1,271 fans. I told you we had a good crowd here in Brewster today. The final line score, YD with 2 runs, 6 hits, no errors. They leave 3 on. For Brewster, 1 run, 3 hits, no errors, 10 left on base for the Whitecaps. I know Jamie Shevchik's about to talk to us here more about what he saw from this ball game, but is there anything else besides what we were talking about with the offense that you take away from this contest here?
Well, I mean, it seems like the offense needs to step up when their pitching is so solid. You know, you have such a great game from Paulie Milto, and as you could tell, he wasn't exactly excited about it because his team lost, and he's a guy that he's all about the team. You know, that's all he cares about. He doesn't care about scoreless innings. So you got to step up and really just come out there and produce for these pitchers that, you know, Tribuker gets the loss, but he didn't come in and completely just blow everything up. I mean, he just had 1 bad inning in the 8th, and then other than that was pretty stellar, and then Broom kind of came into a tough situation. But otherwise, the pitching was really, really solid. You only allowed 2 runs, and the offense just needs to step up and just kind of work things out, get things together.
Yeah, it's getting it together. It seems like that's something Jamie Shevchik might say when he talks to Aaron, or when he talks to Aiden in a little bit. It just seems like consistency has been lacking from the offense just in terms of stringing hits together. I mean, I was talking about it way back in like the 2nd or 3rd inning of the ball game about how with the number of walks that Brewster draws each and every game, that's the one thing that's consistent about the offense is they draw a ton of walks. They put a lot of base runners on, and so it can be frustrating when you have a day like this when only 1 run winds up coming in and you miss those opportunities. It's kind of how the team is built right now is the opportunities are there, but they need to be able to get the big hit and take advantage, and we'll see if how Jamie Shevchik feels about it as he is over there with Aiden Doyle right now. Let's send it over to Aiden.
Thanks, Carter. Here with Coach Shevchik. Coach, obviously a tough loss today to the YD Red Sox, 2-1. But one of the bright spots, Paulie Milto getting to start for you guys. 7 innings, faced the minimum, just 1 hit allowed. What was working for him out on the mound from what you saw?
Threw a lot of strikes, located his fastball really well, you know, mixed in his slider, you know, got ahead of hitters. I'm not sure if he went to if he even went to a 3-ball count to a guy. He definitely didn't go 2-0 to anybody either. So he was just, that's what pitching is: throw strikes, pitch to contact. You know, kept those guys off balance a little bit. Pitched a great game, but definitely one of the better games we've seen for sure.
With the pitching staff a little thin moving forward, he's a guy who's been primarily a reliever for you guys. This is really the first official start for him after what happened in Chatham. But moving forward, do you view him more continuing as a starter or back to the bullpen?
If he can give us stuff like that, yeah, I would love to reinsert him as a starter. You know, it depends on, we got 2 more guys coming in this weekend. It really is gonna come down to what the rotation looks like. you know, Daniel's still being there, Losi's still going to be in there, Avadano's still going to be in there. So we're searching for who's that, you know, that fourth or fifth guy's going to be. So, yeah, I think Paulie's kind of earned the right to probably get another start for sure.
Offensively, just 3 hits today, only 1 after the second inning. Where do you think the problem lies there?
We didn't hit. You know, we had opportunities to score runs today. We had, I think, 9 or 10 walks, but striking out 14 or 15 times is not, you're not going to win any ball game like that. So we let one go today. This is going to be one that's going to haunt us. I think it's going to bite us. We had every opportunity to win this game and pull away, and just couldn't do it. You know, we couldn't come up with the hit we needed to. We could have scored on a pass ball that we didn't do. So just everything that went wrong offensively today went wrong.
The sacrifice fly where it looked like YD initially took a 2-1 lead and then the runner left early. Was that something someone noticed in the dugout, or was that players on the field?
No, we all saw that in the dugout. He left really early. That was a break for us. That was, you know, we literally got lucky with that, because half the time the umpires are never going to see that call or make that call, especially in that situation. So we looked out with that, but you know, not being able to hit today, really, this is a tough pill to swallow.
Tough pill to swallow, and you've talked about the importance of divisional wins, especially against a team like these YD Red Sox, you guys are tied points-wise in the standings coming into this game. You got another one tomorrow against the Orleans Firebirds, who are in first place in the Eastern Division at their place, Eldridge Park. What's the game plan moving forward or into that game, and how do you change the result as far as today?
How do you change the result? Is nothing that we can do. I mean, these guys have to have more efficient at bats. They've got to, you know, currency is scoring runs. Runs are currency, so they need to take pride in that. You know, have every opportunity to not squander a chance to score a run when we need to, because eventually a 2-1 game could make the difference. I just hope I'm not biting myself in a couple of weeks when, you know, it comes down to playoff time and we're not in a certain position, you know, because of a loss like this.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Kind of ominous there from Coach Shevchik, talking about how this is the game that will haunt us. This is a game that we'll remember if we're not in a good spot in the playoffs. Do you think that could happen more? I mean, there are certain similarities there.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard. It's baseball. There's so many games that you can't really pinpoint one game. I think that besides the 2 games where we saw the offense kind of explode, that stretch where they had, you know, a shutout against YD and then they scored just 1 run, I think that stretch more likely will kind of haunt them than this one game. I think it's just the offense just not producing. That will haunt them eventually, but it's going to be hard to pinpoint one game as kind of what decides your season.
And we'll see if Brewster can try and put this game in the rearview mirror tomorrow. Another kind of late start coming up. It's a 7 o'clock p.m. scheduled start, as Aiden said, from Eldridge Park in Orleans. Brewster taking on the Orleans Firebirds. It's the last time that Brewster will head to Eldridge Park for a ball game. It's where the season began, remember, way back when. And Brewster will take on Orleans again. That is tomorrow night, 7 o'clock p.m., and you can tune in right here on the Whitecaps Radio Network. And we sure hope you do so. Carter Woodeel and Morris Sheridan here with you. Thank you so much for listening. For Morris Sheridan, for Aiden Doyle, for Koki Riley, for everybody in our crew here at Stony Brook Field in Brewster, I'm Carter Woodeel saying so long for the night. Once again, the final score, YD steals the game here from Brewster. 2-1 is the final. We'll be back tomorrow at 7. Hope you see you then. Bye-bye.